Hey, brother, long time no see. So, for the guys listening, Arman was away on a cruise without internet for quite a while. And now, after spending quite a bit of time on sea, he's back on land and he's going to tell us about his cruise.
Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little bit more tan than last time. Did you notice that?
Hey, Coach Greg said that, right? More tan than last time.
Yeah, I went to Mexico, Harsh. The cruise was so much fun. If you've never been to a cruise, I will say that it's my favorite type of vacation because everything is pretty much set up for you. You're connected with Mother Nature. You know how you go trekking a lot? Whenever
Yep.
you're out there trekking, you just feel grounded with reality. Another way to
Mhm.
do that is you go on a cruise ship and you go in the middle of the ocean, you look around and you don't see anything but water. That's a good way to connect back with reality. That was an amazing part. I went with my wife. We ended up going there for a couple of days. Eventually, we ported to Mexico. And once we ported to Mexico, we started to meet the locals. They started to take us to different spots. We went to the beach, we went snorkeling, we went up a lighthouse and just shopped in different areas in Mexico. I eventually came back and I did karaoke. Do you know what karaoke is?
I think it's where you sing a song.
Hmm. I ended up doing that, and it was a lot of fun, man. I mean, overall, the thing with the cruise ship is that you keep seeing the same people over and over again because you guys are in a ship together. So eventually, these people become this family of yours, and everyone's just trying to have a good time. So normally, if on Earth you're saying, "Ah, man, I'm never going to sing in front of people," in a cruise ship, it's different, where you're thinking, "I'm never going to see them again. So why not just momentarily embarrass myself and try it out?" But after you do that, you just
Mm.
come off stage and you just feel so good, man. After I did karaoke, all these different people they're saying, "Man, bro, you could sing. I didn't know you could sing like that. I can't sing at all. I suck." But they were just hyping you up. Everyone's just in a great mood. Overall, it was a amazing vacation. And what made it even better was that I didn't have Wi-Fi or anything like that. It just got me a good chance to disconnect from everything. I highly recommend people try it out.
So essentially, when Americans go to Mexico, it's called a cruise.
Mm.
And when Mexicans come to America, it's called illegal immigration. What's up with that, Arman?
It's called illegal immigration. The cool thing with cruises is that it's not only Mexico. You could go to Alaska, Bahamas. Some people do a worldwide cruise, so it's an entire year, a year to 4 years, where they're just cruising for a long time.
But
Most
what do you
people,
even do at the cruise other than, I'm going to assume that since you're at sea for large parts of the day, don't you get bored of it at some point? Like, okay, I've seen
you
enough ocean.
no, you don't. So what happens in cruise ships is that they have a lot of activities. I mean, you could pretty much just fill up your schedule with activities. They have comedy shows, magic shows, they have game shows. You know how you just got married? You and your wife can be in a dating game show that'll eventually be broadcasted to the entire cruise ship. It's just a little world. So you don't even have to port off of Mexico. You could just stay in your cruise ship the entire time, which I don't recommend, by the way. I recommend you explore, but you could stay in the cruise ship the entire time and you'll always have something to do. Food is unlimited as well. You could eat whenever you want. There's fancy restaurants. It's so weird, Harsh, because when you go to a fancy restaurant, you dress up, you eat the fancy food. What's the first thing you want to do? You want to ask for the bill, right?
Hmm.
But in this cruise ship, after I get dressed, after I eat the fancy meal, I'll say, "Can I get the bill?" And they'll say, "Oh, it's already been taken care of." So I have to condition myself to just get up and leave without paying. It just
That
messes
must
with
be
you.
weird, yeah.
Yeah. And most of the people in cruise ships, Harsh, they're international people. They're not from the US. Uh, on their tag, it'll write where they're from. It'll write their name and where they're from. Most of the people are from India, from Philippines, and from South Africa. And I'm talking to them. I'm like, "Hey, Raj, what made you want to join a cruise ship?" Because, dude, if you go there, they're also enthusiastic. But
Wait, are
I'm
you talking about the people or the crew?
the crew. The people, the guests are already enthusiastic because they're on vacation. But I'm talking about the crew, the people that work on the cruise ship. They're super upbeat. They're always trying to talk to you, whatever you need, they're trying to do for you. And I'm thinking, why? I mean, why are you guys so upbeat for? Um, are you guys getting paid a lot of money? So one day I go up to one of the Indian guys and I'm like, yo, brother, how much are you getting paid? He's like, and it's not that much, dude. It's like 2,500 USD per month, but they don't get paid hourly. They get paid for contracts. So they do a 7 month contract on C's. And I'll ask him, well, what month of your contract are you in now? He'll say 6 months. So after next month, I finally get to see my family. My wife just had a kid, blah, blah, blah. And I haven't really been seeing him grow up. I'm thinking, man, what a weird setup where you're basically on C for 7 months and you're getting paid based on contracts. It's considered a decent amount of money because they don't have to worry about um, uh, rent at all.
Food and everything else, everything is taken care
Exactly.
of.
And they're going by um, India money, Indonesian money, Africa money, but they're getting paid in USD.
Exactly. So the reason they do this on cruise ships is because all these Western countries, they have these laws about, minimum wage and, maximum number of hours worked and blah, 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 which
Hmm.
these countries do not have. So cruise ships tend to prefer hiring from third world countries because they can get more for their money, right? While at the same time, like the Indian worker, he feels like he's getting a nice like deal, right? He's instead of getting paid 200 bucks a month, 300, 400 bucks a month, he's getting paid like 2000 bucks a month, which is very good for him. And since all of his expenses are taken care of, it's closer to maybe like 2500 bucks a month. Not 25, but maybe like a little bit more, right? Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for a lot of them, the economics of it makes sense. I had a friend who was working in the merchant navy, and he used to make like, compared to the rest of the population, he was doing really well. The only thing was that he was like 22 years old, so he was getting very desperate and lonely because he would be at ship for like months and months and months. So he quits his merchant navy job to become like a call center employee in India. So he went from making like 1 lakh rupees, I think that's like $1,200 a month, to making like 10,000 rupees, which is like $150 a month. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna like at least I'm gonna find a better job here. This is just a starter job. I'm gonna like find something that pays a little bit more. But I don't
Hmm.
want to stay at sea. It's just like too annoying. Like you feel too lonely. You don't even have internet half the time, and there's nothing to do. So he has developed all these like weird habits to like cope with all the time at sea. Like he would smoke like a cigarette every 2 hours, and you know how it is, right? Like you have nothing to do, then you need something to entertain yourself, and you find
Hmm. Yeah, because with the cruise, I mean, 4 to 5 days is the sweet spot. But if I have to stay a day over, then I start to just feel bored, right? But these guys are staying on the ship for months at a time. I
yeah,
can
and
see
they're
why
not
they get
having
bored.
fun, right? For them, it's a high stress environment, right? They're
Hmm.
they're at work.
But what really baffled me, Harsh, was that they're so enthusiastic. They love doing their job. They go above and beyond. And that's when I was thinking, how are you incentivizing these people to do that? You're not giving them that much money. They should be getting homesick after month three. What's the management principle that's making them work so hard?
It's simple, right? Like if you did you get a feedback form?
I did from just one guy because for your room, you get the steward, and I had to give him a form that I had to fill out.
So essentially, right? Like if you get like a bunch of bad reviews or something, your like employment is cut off, right? Your contract will not be renewed. The same thing goes for these shows, right? These magic shows and blah blah blah. Like
Mhm.
if they'll probably like give you a feedback form, and you're supposed to rate how much fun that show was. And if a bunch of people, like if people start saying the show sucks or something, then all these performers and they all lose their employment, right? So they
Mhm.
try really hard to make you enjoy the show. So then later on you would go and say, 5 stars, 5 stars, this was a great show. And then they get renewed again. So
Mm.
the incentive is essentially, you get to keep your contract, and they're very ruthless about it. So that's the incentive.
I see. Yeah, I mean, if you're an American and you're working in one of those cruise ships, it's seen as probably one of the worst deals out there because getting paid $2,500 a month is less than minimum wage here. But if you're getting paid $2,500 and you're from Indonesia, for example, suddenly it becomes an opportunity. That,
Exactly, exactly.
you see, that's another thing that I noticed. Whenever you're hiring people on contracts versus paying them hourly, I noticed they go from viewing it as a job to an opportunity.
There is some truth to it. Actually, I'm inclined to agree. The only thing is that, right, you have to be one of those people who are seen as somewhat cutthroat, where you would not renew the contract if the job is not done super well.
Hmm.
Like, I've seen situations, right? Like, I have a friend who's a really nice guy, right? He's like super nice, like he's too nice, okay? And his dad has this company, and he just recently started taking over the company. Like, his dad is getting old, and like some of his contractors, right, they're doing a shitty ass job. They're not cleaning the place correctly, and there's dirt and everything everywhere, and he's still renewing the contract. I'm like, dude, why are you renewing this shit? Like, just like
Oh yeah,
fire one guy, and then everybody falls in line.
you got to make an example out of someone.
Yeah, it's not just that, it's like having the perception about like how safe your employment is, how safe your contract is, right? Like, if everybody thinks that they can just do whatever they want and nothing is going to happen, then that's what they're going to do. But you don't have to like go and fire everybody, right? Because you have to still run your business. But just like here and there, someone's not doing a good job and they're being nonchalant about it, just fire them. Like, fire them in front of everybody. Okay, leave. Like, if we don't want you here, like, and that makes everybody fall in line.
It does. And you got to make sure you're hiring people for the right roles. When you go on cruise ships, Harsh, you'll see that there's two types of roles: the service roles and the entertainment roles. So the Indians, Indonesians, Chinese, and Africans, they do a lot of the service roles. Like they'll clean up, they'll wait tables, they'll ask you if you want to get your laundry done, the service roles. And then
Mhm.
there are the entertainment roles, which are somewhat dominated by the Polish workers, the Russians, a lot of people with white skin, where at night you have to host a game show, for example. They don't normally give that to the service role workers. They give that to the people that have more charisma. And there was this one day
It
where
looks more premium.
there was this game show being hosted, and they let an Indian guy do it, and he just had no charisma, right? He's just like, "Who wants to go up next?" Okay, yes, no. It's just so boring. And all the people in the cruise ship, they're like, "Oh man, they gave him the wrong role. He should have been a service guy, not an entertainment guy."
Yeah, actually, I think it has a lot to do with culture and accent and training. A lot
Hmm.
of Indian these employees, right? They're like low level people who are like who would make like $300 a month here in India. They're like people who've been doing cleaning and all that stuff for a while, right? They're not like the educated Indian who actually, or he doesn't have the personality for it. If they find the right person, they could easily find them in India also. But I
Hmm.
will say with these things, right? Like with these cruise ships, white skin is seen as like more premium than say like a brown guy doing it. I don't know why that is, but even in India, right? Like you have these like high-end weddings, they'll
Hmm.
hire white people for the performance stuff. And the reason is that it just seems more premium.
Mm,
They
really?
have these fire shows, and there are Indians who do fire shows also, but they'll
Hmm.
find like Russian performers for it, where they will put diesel in their mouth and spit it out, and then like light it on flames. So it feels like the guy's like shooting flames from his mouth,
Oh wow.
and they'll always find like white performers for it because it looks more premium. It looks like richer. I don't know why. That's a perception here.
I noticed the same thing in the cruise ships. Another thing that you'll realize, dude, is that some people are really ignorant, but they don't mean anything by it. For example, I'm sure you notice just physically the difference between Chinese, Indonesian, Philippines. Do you notice the
Mhm.
difference?
Yep.
Like they don't fully look the same. But for white people, all of them look Chinese. So there was this
Indians look Chinese to them, really?
yeah, no, but I'm talking about the Orientals.
Ah, okay, okay.
Right? But for Indians, there was this guy that was from Guyana. And then one of the white guys, he's very nice. He's always trying to talk to everyone. He's like, "Hey there, bud. How long you been in India for?" And then the guy's like, "Well, brother, I'm actually from Guyana. I'm not from India." And they're very different, right? But the white person's like, "Your skin's brown, so you're Indian, right?" They'll do that for the Indians, they'll do that for the Chinese. But after this cruise, I actually started to physiologically see the difference between a Japanese guy, a Chinese guy, a Filipino guy, Indonesian guy, a Malaysian guy.
I don't think I could differentiate all of them like you can, but the Chinese people look different from say Japanese and Thai people, and I can tell the difference there.
Chinese people definitely look the most otherworldly to me. They look very, and this is not with any disrespect whatsoever. They look more like cartoon characters to me, where Indonesian and Filipinos, they kind of look Latin a little bit. They have the eye thing, but it's not as prominent as Chinese people.
Have you seen Koreans? They have the most prominent eye thing.
Oh yeah, there was a Korean person there that I remember meeting.
Dude, I like Korean people, but I can't tell you guys apart. Like it's too hard. You know what I mean? Like the women, especially the men are still okay, but the women, I don't understand. But I think most of them get surgery to look the same. Like they have this standard of
Mm.
beauty,
Mm-hmm.
and their parents will gift them surgery. Hey, you've graduated. Here's like makeup surgery for you, and then they would all like I think they have like a 90% plastic surgery rate where 90% or some like very high percentage of the population has gotten plastic surgery. It's very like accepted in the country, and they have like a different fridge in their house for cosmetics. They really care about it, right? They really care about it, and they have like flawless skin for sure. But
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. It's too hard to tell them apart. I just can't do it.
They look similar. That's a good point.
Like Chinese, I can still tell them apart. Like it's Chinese is not that hard, right? Because what happens is that, right? Like as you age, you get wrinkles here and there, and it's not gonna match with everybody. So you can tell this is different. But Koreans, they don't have any wrinkles, anything. They're like very pure skin. Very hard to like tell who is who. You can't even tell their age actually. It's too hard.
They all look so young.
Yeah, they look too young. I don't get it. Like I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're just like applying makeup all day. I don't understand.
It's so.
Something I've figured out where you if you go on Twitter, right, people will say, you're a man, if you do this, apply cream and do this, do that, blah, you will look younger when you're 40. Like, why the fuck do I care about looking younger when I'm 40? When I'm 40, I want to look like I'm 40. I don't want to look like I'm like 25.
Yeah, I think it
Do you
also
have a
helps.
skincare routine?
The what?
Do you have a skincare routine?
Nothing too advanced, but some basic stuff where I'll wash my face with this one washer, then I'll moisturize. You need to do it when it's really cold. Otherwise, your skin starts cracking
Ah,
and you look
right.
bad. Yeah. It'll start cracking, you'll start bleeding here and there. So you got to do some basic routines. The underrated tip, dude, is if you have flaky skin, remember a long time ago, you had this one skin issue where you were burning your skin off or something?
Oh yeah, pityriasis rosea. It's too annoying.
Yeah, but what helped you with that was Head and Shoulders.
Yep.
That's the cheat code if you have flaky skin. A lot of people, they'll go to the doctor and all of that, but if you do Head and Shoulders on your face, then it'll remove the flaky skin. So that's an underrated
Mm.
hack a lot of people don't know about. Uh, One of the best skincare routines is to use Head and Shoulder not on your hair but on your face.
I don't know, man. I My skincare routine is just like going to the gym, sweating, showering, and every once in a while, maybe like twice a week, I'll use like a shampoo called Scalp, which is like an anti-dandruff shampoo to like clean the head. Nothing else. I mean, I will use soap when I'm showering, but that's pretty much it.
Mm. Do you shower every day or?
I end up showering like 2, 3 times a day because you wake up and you shower, you go to the gym and you shower, then evening cardio you shower.
Okay. And it's hot over there.
Depends on where you are, right? There are some places where it gets really cold, and I will shower less often when it's cold. And
Hmm.
these hot areas, I'll shower like twice a day, thrice a day. It depends on where I am. But in the cold, I just can't shower, man. It's just too hard. Like there have been times where I've gone like 3 days without a shower, simply because the temperature was like -2 degrees Celsius, and which is, I didn't want to do it. It was
Yeah,
just too much.
too much. What's your relationship with hand soap nowadays? I remember you went viral a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah. So hand soap, I don't use it very frequently. I will use hand soap when I'm like after the gym, because
Mm,
you're touching all the equipment that everybody else is touching. Like it's worth it to nuke the hands. But if I'm just at home, like right now, recording a podcast with you, and I need to eat something, I just wash it with water. I don't want to constantly like put soap on my hands.
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, once you hit your 30s, dude, some sort of skincare routine or some sort of lifestyle routine definitely helps because you'll see when you hit your 30s, random parts of your body just start to get sore. But also for some guys, like random parts of their skin just start to break out or just mess up. They'll start to get acne again. They'll start to get white spots. They'll start to get flaky skin. It's good to be proactive rather than reactive with that kind of stuff. When I was getting married last year, I recall the week before, my skin was just messing up for whatever reason. It was just super flaky. And that's when I had to learn about all this skincare routine. I never willingly wanted to learn about it. I just had to because I thought, man, I'm going to be taking all these pictures next week and my skin literally looks bad right now. I had dark spots and everything. It really also matters with where you live. If you live in a cold area, your skin it's going to look a lot older than someone who lives in a warm area. If you ever come
Hmm.
here and you see the people in New York versus the people in Florida, you'll see the difference where they could both be 25, but someone from New York will look 35 while the guy from Florida looks 23.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have not
It-
noticed this in India. Like the guys in cold weather, they don't have like bad skin, at least not here.
How cold does it get in India typically?
It depends, right? Certain states it gets negative temperatures in the winter. Some states like winter is like 25 degrees Celsius, so very warm. So it
Mm,
depends on where you are. Like if you're in Kerala, right? Like there is no winter. Like winter is like 30 degrees Celsius.
What was your viewpoint of Kerala? Didn't you come from there recently?
I went there for my honeymoon. I didn't like it that much. Like I like the honeymoon part of it, but I like some locations actually. I went to Munnar. Munnar was really good. I enjoyed Munnar. And I went to Thekade. Thekade was also really nice. Um, Kochi was fairly okay. It was just too hot. Like I like the city, but it's just so hot, man. You're like, fuck this shit. Like, where have I even come? Why did I even come here? It's so hot.
Mm, yeah.
And then I went to Aleppi, which is also really, really hot. I think they call it Alappuzha or something now. And
Hmm.
then I went to, I don't even remember the name of the place. Shit, Varkala. That was also really hot. So the entire, state, it's really beautiful, right? It's just like it feels serene. Like it's really, really pretty. It's really beautiful. But it's just so hot in some places where you're like, okay, fuck. What have I even done wrong in my life to have come here?
Am
It's
I in hell
just
right
so
now?
hot. Exactly. It's like a beautiful hell. It's so beautiful, so pretty. If only the temperature was like 15, 20 degrees lower.
Mm. How's
Then
the
there's
AC over there?
the ACs are good, but in the hotels, right? You want to explore the place.
Mhm, mhm.
So I mean, it's not their fault, right? Like what can they do? They're not like they can't control the temperature, right?
Yeah.
But as someone who's spending a week somewhere, you want to enjoy the location. And I personally have found that I do not like warm hot locations. Like I like places like that are like somewhat cool. Like Thailand is fine, like it's not like super hot. But
Mhm.
some place like Pondicherry, you can just be like, okay, too hot, no, not fun at all. So I like all these
Define
mountainous
hot.
regions.
Yeah, define hot real quick.
I would say anything above 27, 28 degrees Celsius would be hot.
27 degrees Celsius? That's
Actually,
80
you know what?
degrees Fahrenheit, right?
Yeah, I don't know how much is that in Fahrenheit. Wait. Let me like. So when I went to Kerala, it was 40 degrees Celsius there. How much is that?
That's hot. That's 104 degrees Fahrenheit. That's
So
considered
yeah,
really hot.
28 it would be like warm, right? Like I would not like enjoy traveling in the sun at 28, but
28,
40,
I don't think 28's too bad, dude. That's 82
it's not
degrees
too bad. It's not too bad, but
Fahrenheit.
you want to go for a vacation. You want to feel cool. You don't want to feel hot.
Well, the best is 25 degrees Celsius. That's 77 degrees Fahrenheit, which I think is perfect. Or you could even bump it down to, let me see, I'm just doing some calculations. 23 degrees Celsius. Then you'll, I literally have a Celsius Fahrenheit calculator.
So the last time I went trekking, right,
Yeah.
the temperature at night was like negative 15.
Negative 15. Well, hold on. What the
You
heck is
had
that?
to be in these down jackets and like have
Oh,
like
that's
a
cold,
little
dude.
sleeping bag. That's really cool. Yeah, that was a lot of fun though. Like, I enjoyed it.
Wow. I didn't even know you were allowed to trek in that cold weather. When I went to Dubai a while back, it was 45 degrees Celsius.
Oh, yeah, man. Dubai is not like, don't go there in the summer. Just I will never go to Dubai in the summer. Just too hot.
Hot, dude. I know exactly what you're talking about when the place is beautiful, but you can't explore it because it's burning. Luckily for them, they have good AC systems. Some places they're hot, but they don't have AC. You have to use fans. And if it's so hot outside, fans doesn't help inside.
It's just blowing hot air around, like not really helping.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I think Dubai it makes sense because it's like a city, right? It's not like a. I mean, they've made it a tourist destination, but it's not like a natural location, right? But I don't understand why foreigners come to like very hot places. Like when you go to Varkala, right? You'll find foreigners there, and they're just like they act like there's no heat at all. Shirtless in the sun, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Too much.
It's too hot.
That's what Mexico was like, burning. And you'll see if your ancestors have lived in a hot area for a long, your skin is more leathery. If you go to Mexico, their skin is very leathery in South Mexico, but the North Mexican people look super different than the South Mexican. Where South Mexicans are very short, leathery skin, North Mexicans apparently have blonde hair, blue eyes, and are really tall. So where you live will determine how you look, especially if your ancestors have lived there for a long time.
Hmm. I
One thing
would
I
say there's
noticed
a
with
lot of
Indians,
people.
dude, is do you know Malayalam people? I don't know if Malayalam is
Yep.
the language or the people.
I think that they're the people of Kerala.
Bro, the Malayalam people here, they're huge. They look like athletes. And I was asking them, why are you guys so big for? At least the ones here. And they'll often say that they have some connections with Africans. I don't know if that's true
Oh
or
yeah. So there's a theory. I don't know how well proved it is, but it's probably true. So the Indian subcontinent, right? Like there's something called. Are you familiar with like the continental plates?
not really.
Okay, let me like enlighten you then. I'm gonna like find from Google to share a photo, right?
Hmm.
So you had Eurasia, right? Like a continental plate, and then there was Gondwana.
Oh, plate tectonics. I've heard of that. Basically, the whole world used to be connected, and then they
I mean,
gradually drifted apart.
yeah, sort of. So essentially, right, the Indian plate was connected to Africa for a long, long time. Yeah, so it looks like this. Let me share my screen. So you see the Indian plate, right? It travels, 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 and then bangs into the Eurasian plate.
Hmm.
It kind of breaks off like this, and then travels like this and bangs into it. So
I
the
see.
people who are like in Kerala could very well be like the people who are like Africans who were on that plate at the moment while it starts breaking off and then drifts into Eurasian plates. So yeah, it kind of
Mm,
goes like this, right? So that's how you also get the Himalayas, where these two plates crash, and then the side of the crash starts rising up and up.
I see. That's interesting.
Yeah, so it kind of travels, and then crashes. And the place it crashes, that's the Himalayas because you take two pieces of paper and then you crash them together. The pieces of paper will rise,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that could very well be the case where the people in Kerala and some like other states are like more closely related to Africans, like they
Mm,
were there before. And then, after we crash into Eurasia, like more people from Eurasia kind of moved into the plate. And, they are like ethnic, what's a, genetically less similar. So that's like one of those theories. And then it kind of becomes a little more controversial because so now the controversial part of it is that now you have Hinduism, right? You
mm-hmm.
in Hinduism you had like a bunch of castes, right? Like low caste, high caste, there were four castes. And there's a theory that so Hindus, right? Like Hindus, they really consider themselves to be Aryans, right? It's very important in Hinduism. Like if you look at old Hindu scriptures, it's just like like we are the Aryans. It's very important, right? You will find the old cave paintings in India. They're saying we the Aryans. So it's like it's very like Sanskrit speakers, like the descendants of Sanskrit speakers are Aryans, right? It's very important for our ancestors to tell us that we are Aryans, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But then they do these DNA sampling and they find out that the only people who are like highly Aryan are the higher castes. I mean, that's what some of these guys are saying. I'm not saying this is true. I'm saying
Right.
this is what the claims are, right?
The Brahmins.
So yeah, the Brahmins, the Vaishyas, and the Kshatriyas, they're like they have a lot of Aryan DNA. And the people who are like lower caste or like people who are not in the caste fold have like less and less R&D. They have almost no R&D. So the theory, like what some people propose, is that the people who were there on the plate, the Indian plate, when it broke off from the African plate, are like the original inhabitants, and they are not Aryans. And then you had like Aryans come in, like the people who invented Sanskrit, the Sanskrit speakers, and then they established their rule over the rest of the country,
Mm-hmm.
the entire plate. And then they said, we're like the higher caste and you guys are the lower caste. So that's like the Aryan invasion theory. And I think this theory has been proven to be wrong, but that's like a plausible theory. Like I'm not like, this is not my area of expertise, right? But just one of those theories. But yeah, so a lot of people still buy it. That's all I can say. And the DNA tests kind of do show some amount of more Aryanness in the higher castes.
The higher
So,
caste. Is it also based on geography or not really?
I mean, what do you mean by if it's based on geography?
For example, are there more Aryans in North India than South India, or vice versa? Or is it mainly a caste thing? What this theory says.
The theory says it's mostly a caste thing, but I will say that if this theory is true, then it would be plausible that there would be more Aryans in the north than in the south.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the Aryans would be coming in from the north, and while the people who are already there would be more at the south than at the north. So it kind of seems to like if the theory is true, then it would be I could make the argument that the geography part of it also could hold true. But at the same time, right, it's too hard to tell. This stuff was happening like millions and millions of years ago, and it's too hard to know what's the situation right now.
Mm.
At the same time, right, it's like what are we going to do about it? Like
Who
it's
cares?
who cares? Every once in a while, someone is gonna like email me, "Are you an Aryan?" Like I can tell you're an Aryan because you're a very determined fellow, and they're all European. Like okay, I mean, not that I'm unhappy about it, but like apparently it means a lot in Europe. Like in India, it's not as important anymore.
It matters in Europe?
I don't know. I'm just like every time I would get an email asking me like, "Are you an Aryan?" It's always a European person. It's never American or Chinese or Indian or anywhere else.
I
It's always
okay,
European, mostly from Germany.
really? Man.
Hmm.
And you said in one of our past episodes that you don't really care about the casts that much, but your parents' generation does?
They don't care about caste except when it's time to marry your children. That's when they really care about caste.
Yeah, and if someone's a different caste, they wouldn't approve the marriage?
They would not be happy about it.
I see. But what about your kids? Would you care about that?
I don't know, man. Like I'm not sure. Like, I'm inclined to say I would not.
Mhm.
But at the same time, right, I see the advantage of preserving cultural identity in the sense that I'm very proud of the achievements of my people and like what they've done and over the years how far we've come, and kind of gives me more confidence and makes me more ambitious. Like my ancestors have done this and I should try to surpass them, right? And I know a lot of people who are from like intercaste marriages. They don't have this, right? They're not even sure what identity they have because they have like two different identities who, independently, like their cousins will like disown them. Like, hey, you're not this, you're not one of us. And the other guy, other side is also like, you're not one of us. And then the guy is like, what the fuck?
That's
It's like
liberal.
how you like a Indian guy born in the US, but you're not exactly like an American. Like maybe like
Right.
America would be a wrong example since it's more accepting of
Mm.
immigrants. But
I see what
so,
you're saying, though.
so I don't really know what's the right thing to do, right? Like I'm not sure what I would do. The only way to find out would be if my children come with a proposal that I want to marry this person and they're from like a different caste, and then I would have to decide yes or no.
Okay, and this may be a very dumb question, pardon me, but can you lie? Can you say you're in a certain caste, but you're
No,
not?
no, 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 no. You
You can't
can't
lie
lie.
about that. Is there
It's very.
paperwork on it?
I mean, your surname is gonna tell people, right?
Is it? You could tell by
Yeah,
name?
yeah. Like Arman, like your surname is Chowdhury, right? So you're
Uh,
Bengali. Like I can tell.
I see. And whenever you're filling out forms, do you ever have to put in what caste you are?
You don't have to put in your
You don't
caste,
have to
no.
put that.
I
Got
think I
it.
think they have like some of these places where you do have to put in the caste because the government they give a lot of benefits to lower caste people. So you
Mhm.
you are like more favorably selected for jobs or more favorably selected for a college seat. And that's also like a very controversial topic in India because we're at a point now where because of vote bank politics, a, there's a big percentage, like sometimes like 80 to 90% of the seats or 80 to 90% of the jobs are like reserved only for like lower caste or SC, ST, OBC, or like some kind of reservation is there. And then
Mhm.
people who don't belong from these categories, there's only like 5 or 10% seats left, and it just feels very unfair to them. So it's become more and more controversial. At the same time, right, sometimes it just feels like wrong. Like there will be like a medical college and then they would have like a quota for like lower castes. I'm not it's not like I have a problem with that. The problem is that, right, someone who we need to also have like some kind of minimum scoring quota for medical, because sometimes, right, very undeserving, very like idiotic people end up in becoming a doctor, right? Like someone who would nearly fail their medical exams
Mhm.
ends up becoming a doctor, and then people trust them with their lives and then they die from it, and that's not like a good thing. So
This is your guys' version of DEI,
yeah,
diversity,
it
equity, and inclusion.
exactly it's
Mhm.
literally very similar to that. And it kind of warps the perception of society because I've had situations, right, like I used to like do hiring for companies, and then companies would literally there's like a big multinational company, right? Like this is not one of our clients, but I was just talking to the CEO of the company, and the guy, like, he gets like a resume from an IIT, right? And he speaks to the guy, right? And then he says, okay, so this must be one of those quota guys because the guy seems really dumb. But this guy is from IIT. So it kind of creates this negative perception, right? Now, where this guy is like, now this guy might have just sounded dumb, but now he's
Mhm.
assuming that he's from a quota because he's had bad experiences, right? So I'm not sure like if this thing should continue for too long, because I would say it's more of a net negative to society than a net positive.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's since it's one of those political things, it's like logic does not matter when it's time to get votes. Like votes
Or
are more important than logic.
yeah, if you're questioning it, then people will say, "What? You're not for inclusion?" Uh,
Yeah,
but
you
they
hate the low caste or caste this. Like
yeah,
you,
but there
you
are
want a
phrases
doctor,
for it. We
you
call
want a
it
guy, bad doctor.
yeah, we call it a DEI hire. So this is a person who is maybe a person of minority, but is not competent. It works out in certain situations, but other times it doesn't work out, and it just makes you think, why can't we just go back to a merit-based system
Dude,
where you're
a merit
competent?
system would be awesome. Right now, it's like, so in the Indian Railways, right? They have, to win an election, they did something called best among failures. So people, instead of hiring like the guys who were doing really well in exams, they're hiring like minorities. Not
Hmm.
like these protected what's the word, this quota people. Best among failures. So people who failed the exam, but like the people who scored the highest among the failing marks. So like if there was a 100-mark exam, and if 35 was the passing grade, you score below 35, you failed the exam, right?
Hmm.
But if you scored 33, you're the best among the failures, and you
The
could.
best failure.
It's just like it's too like absurd when you think about it. Like the fuck you doing? But it's all about votes, right? They don't give a shit about the railways or anything else. They're like,
Hmm.
we just want maximum votes, and it's like the caste system overall, right? I would say it was like a big mistake on the part of our ancestors to do this. And now we're all like dealing with the consequences. Like, I have never discriminated against anybody because of caste, right? Not even once.
Hmm.
And, if I had to find a college or something that it's harder for me, like, I didn't do anything to deserve that. But, here we are.
Do you guys discriminate on any particular thing? Maybe it could be income level, skin color, religion, or anything that's mainstream now, or not really?
It depends on like who you're talking. What do you mean by you guys?
Well, maybe people in within your squad, we were just like, stay away from them, harsh.
No, man, not particularly. I mean, there are some people who you will be like, okay, let's avoid this altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of like I have a friend, right, who has a startup and they do work with satellites, right? And um if you hire too many people of the wrong kind, I'm just gonna say that, right? You lose your government contract because then you lose your security clearance.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not safe for them, right? They're like, okay, these guys might sell your information to Pakistan or what have you.
Right.
So there are people in industries like that, they have these problems. I mean, like normal people like me, like who have nothing to do with like military or like government, um don't really have any of those issues. mm, there are some people who will like mostly some people are like subconsciously prone to hiring people from their own like community.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gujaratis tend to hire more Gujaratis, and like Muslims tend to hire more Muslims. So that does exist in India quite a bit. Like you go
Yeah,
to a Muslim doctor, right? His secretary is gonna be a Muslim, and like his assistant is gonna be a Muslim. They have this thing where they only hire Muslims, and I've
bro.
seen like that.
When I was doing those jobs, those odd jobs in my high school, college years, there was a lot of discrimination in terms of, hey, we only hired this type of people. Are you this type of people? Where for if it's a Bengali manager, he's mainly looking for Indians, Pakistanis, and Bengalis. He didn't really want white workers in those environments because he knew that it was going to be strict. He was going to be talking to you a certain type of way. So
I
you have to
think
be able to
this
deal with
guy's
that.
gonna complain about it now. We don't
Yeah,
want him.
he's gonna file. He's gonna want
Preemptive
breaks.
strike. You want overtime pay? What the fuck is overtime, bro?
With blue collar work, they discriminate against women a lot because what will happen, and in my opinion, rightfully so, because there are certain work where you don't want a woman to do, where it's manual
Someone is
work.
gonna quote you on that. Be careful.
No, no, I'm talking, but they don't want it either.
No. You've already said it, Arman. You can't take it back.
Yeah, but they don't want it either. Yeah, so you're in this blue collar job. Let's say they hired 9 guys and 1 girl, and your entire role is to get these heavy metals and take it from one area to another. This isn't something that a girl could do for an 8-hour shift. And that's when a lot of girls within this roles will every now and then ask one of the guys, "Hey, can you help me with this?" And now the guy is doing his work and a little bit of her work. Not all of her work, but a little bit. And now it's taking a wear and tear on his body. And that's where in certain blue collar fields, they do discrimination against women because they'll say, with all due respect, unfortunately, this is a high manual labor work. We don't think you should we don't think you should even be applying. That's why we can't give you this position. It really does depend on the context, but you will see discrimination happening
Dude,
in
it makes
as
complete
well.
sense, right? Like, if you have
Huh?
to pay the same amount and then you
Yeah.
can get less work out of this person, then, what are you paying for, So, but I will say sometimes, like I've seen corporates do this quite a bit where they will tell you, like, off the record, don't hire single women from like 22 to 25 because they have a high chance of getting married and then they will need like 6 months off. They'll have a kid, they'll need another 6 months off. And then you end up paying them for a year. And then after
Mhm.
they have a kid, they quit their career anyway.
Yeah.
So you essentially end up giving them free money. So then you don't want to do that.
My philosophy was when I was starting ArmaniTalks and I was hiring contractors, whenever they're saying, "Yo, Armani, I'm about to get married," I'm thinking, "Oh man, I got to start looking for this guy's replacement." Because whenever someone gets married, for that first 1 to 7 months, they're just involved in the marriage lifestyle, right? So they're going to be missing deadlines and all of that, and it's going to be hard to deal with them.
Exactly, right? So there are practical considerations for this, which employees don't understand, right? They don't get it. They're like, why are you discriminating against me? It's not fair. Everybody has to get married. I'm like, I get it. At the same time, I have to train 2 people, I have to pay 2 people's salary. I can't
Hmm.
afford that shit, bro. It's just too much. Especially like for these online businesses, I get it, like 90% margin, right? A lot of offline businesses, they have like 5% margin. You, with a 5% margin, you fuck up one or two things here and there and suddenly like your profit is like halved.
Yeah, one mess up will cost you.
So like there's a guy, right? Like he's a friend of mine. Like he used to be a client, and what he does is that he buys like steel from China and he sells it in Indonesia, and his margin is like 0.5%, right? 0.5%.
Hmm.
But like it's mostly dependent on volume. But the thing is that if he makes a bad shipment, like if he doesn't check something properly, he has to eat the cost of the shipment. So one of these years, right, like he fucks up one shipment, and then he has to, like, since his margin is 0.5%, right, he has to eat like the 100% of the cost of that shipment, and it turns out to be like 4 years of profits. So 4 years of profits down in the drain, and he has to do it now because otherwise he will lose his reputation as an agent. If he doesn't
Hmm.
do it. So essentially, right, like with these razor thin margins, you have to be really, really, really careful. Like one bad hire, some idiot did some mistake, and then it turns out that you've lost like half a decade worth of money
Man, that's true.
because it's not there's not a lot you can do about it, right? Either you find like a buyer quickly, but all these different countries have different rules, right? Like some countries will require like this much treatment to the thing, and so it's not as easy as it looks. Sometimes you can get some value for it, sometimes you have to throw the shipment away altogether. But the point is that, right, like the thinner your margin, the less you can afford to fuck up.
Yeah. All these businesses have these types of issues where with real estate, what people will do here is they'll buy a property, they'll get a mortgage on it, but then they'll charge $500 for rent more than the mortgage. So technically every month, let's say they're paying $500 per month in mortgage, which is a made up number. That's very low, but just for the sake of example, the mortgage is $500 per month, but they're charging the rent $1,000. So this tenant is pretty much paying off the person's mortgage, plus the person, the investor, is also getting $500 cash flow. He's doing this for the first couple of months. Everything's working out well. And you that makes you think that real estate is the perfect one. Why don't I do this with 10 houses, 50 houses? You could do
Mm,
that until eventually you need a new roof. And a new roof costs $15,000. And just like that, a bunch of your cash flow is just being reinvested in a roof. You could lose money like that. So you got to be
exactly,
really
exactly,
strategic.
right?
Hmm.
You have to be very strategic. It's something that people who are not in business, they just don't understand. They don't get it, right? They're like, they do focus on like the gross margin. They don't understand like the bigger picture, right? Like, let's say you have a restaurant, right? Like, and they're like, hey, so this restaurant, like, he's selling this thing for like 300 rupees, and on the street I can buy it for 30 rupees, right? He's
Hmm.
selling it for 10 times the price, right? He has to pay for electricity, staff costs, blah blah blah, but he also has to pay for maintaining the property. If something collapses, he has to like literally pay for very expensive repairs. If there's a fire, he has to pay for that. And they don't understand it, right? They just don't think of it that way. It's like, how a job guy can lose his job. Well, the same type of contingency does happen in business. Like,
It
I
does.
have a friend who has a trucking company, and one time what happened was that one of his truckers had an accident, right? He kind of crashed into a truck, and then like the driver didn't die, but he called up these other drivers from the company. So this trucking company, they have like 10 truck drivers. Then
Hmm.
all of them go in and they go beat the guy who crashed into this truck to death, right? They literally kill the guy, okay? And then the police comes and arrests all 11 of them. And these guys are in jail for like a year. So now what can this guy do, right? He can't like stop paying these 11 guys. So he's just paying these 11 guys for, the last year. Then he has
Hmm.
to find new drivers to continue working. And it's just like a reality of business, right? Like, the
Yeah.
fuck you gonna do?
You're always on edge.
You have to be careful, man. Like, every business has these risks, and a bad hire is just like a big cost. It's just too annoying. It also distracts you, right? Like, I don't want to like constantly look for a new employee, man. I need to like focus on other things.
Yeah. I would say that's one of the cool things with our business where we don't have to hire that much. We could rely a lot on AI. The more that AI improves, the more that we could replace workers. And for education based businesses, content based businesses, the margins are pretty high.
Yeah, for now.
The annoying thing is when they bootleg you, but you have a service for that.
Yeah, we do. We have a service called Corporate Samurai, and that makes sure that no one can pirate your product. So if you have a product and people are stealing it, then our service makes sure that it doesn't get stolen, and then you actually make money from your product. But more importantly, right, with AI, you know not only is it that we can hire less people, it just like increases the amount of competition, right? It's not that hard for someone to take all of your content in like Armani Talks and then produce more Armani Talks content without you, or like create like a counterfeit brand with just your content produced from AI.
Hmm. Do you have any predictions on the future of AI and how it's going to impact the just creating content as a whole?
Yeah, so with AI, right now it's fairly primitive, but it's gonna keep getting better and better and better, right?
Hmm.
Like how you had like the internet in 1995 and how you have internet today, right? It's like exponentially better. So the same thing is gonna happen to AI, where it's gonna keep getting better and better and better, right? A few years ago, have you seen those AI videos of Will Smith eating noodles? And it was like
I
this
saw
crappy
that.
ass video.
Hmm.
And now, right, with modern AI videos, you can't tell it's fake. It's just too hard. Like, I
Hmm.
can't tell like with a good AI video. I'm not talking about the shitty AI video, but a good AI video, you can't tell that it's fake. And that's gonna keep on increasing. So we'll have like trust as a whole on the internet will decline, at least temporarily, but it will decline, right? Because anything you see could either be made by humans or it could be made by AI.
Are you
But at the
AI?
same time,
No. I was like, are
hey,
you AI?
let me say, let me see some crazy ass shit right now. Like, gay people are less good than normal people. So
Oh.
no AI in 2025 is producing content like that. Okay, so right, but humans, we can't tell the difference between human content and AI content. Okay, when AI
Mhm.
is good enough, but AI can tell the difference between human content and AI content, at least to some degree of accuracy, right? So eventually we are already, but in the future this will be even more. We will see AI being trained to detect AI content, just to like raise the trust factor, right? Where you might have a plugin and it'll tell you like this Twitter post was written by AI, this post was written by a human or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we will eventually have those technologies where AI detection will be very important, because anything could be fake, right? You could see like a video of Trump, like committing suicide, and is that real or fake? And then the only way you can tell is like with an AI analysis of the video, and that would like tell you like 99% probability of this being like AI generated.
Mm-hmm.
So as we'll have those AI type tools to detect AI. They do exist right now, but they all suck. Like there's like an AI text detector, and if you put in like the US Constitution in it, it'll say it's AI generated. So it's not good at it right now, but it'll get better also. At the same time, like if you take social media, right? Social media right now is being proliferated with AI content, which makes it worse, because
You could
people no
tell.
longer thing is that for some of it you can tell. For the things you
Yeah.
can't tell, you don't even know, right? How would you know what percentage of AI content exists that you can't tell? I mean, you can't, because you can't even tell if it's AI. Are you getting me?
Yeah,
So the
yeah. I meant the people that are writing those comments where you could just tell all of them
Mhm.
sound the exact same. Those ones you could kind of
But
tell.
those are the ones that are done poorly, right? Like with a
Hmm.
well done thing, you can't tell, right? I'm sure you will agree. Like if you can't tell, then
No,
you
you
won't
can't.
even know it exists, right?
Right.
So you will eventually have like social media platforms, or the existing social media platforms will do the same thing, where they will fight against AI by like adding filters to detect it and then banning the people who produce it. And there could be like some kind of financial or other penalty for associated with it, where it could be like to join Twitter you have to pay $100 or some figure, and then if we find that you're using AI, then your money is forfeit.
Hmm. I wonder where that comes in, where you're not mainly using AI to create the content, but you're using AI to maybe proofread the content, create cover art. Will these future AI tools be able to distinguish between the two? Because right now,
Probably.
yeah,
There's
do
AI
you?
assisted content and then AI generated content. They are different,
Yeah,
right?
okay, okay. I didn't know if there was a distinction yet, but yeah, that makes sense to me.
So AI assisted is, for example, I might write an article and then I might ask it to find typos. I might ask it to like find me places where I can smoothen out the article and things like that, right? Like, or
Hmm.
like find mistakes. So that's different from like something that was generated using AI from scratch, or like what percentage of AI has been involved in the creation of this piece, right? I might give it like an outline and then have AI write the entire thing. I mean, I don't do that at LMM. I'm just giving you like a something that's like this could happen at the Huffington Post, right? Like write an article, Trump bad, Trump did this, Trump
Right.
evil, blah blah blah, and then like AI will populate it to be like a longer, full piece,
Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
we'll have AI to detect that. More importantly, we might see. Have you seen those silicone dolls, which are like fuck dolls,
Yes.
sex dolls, right? We might
Hmm.
see like a lot of people with like AI girlfriends, which are like Chat GPT plus a silicone doll, and which remembers your history. So you might have like an AI girlfriend, and a lot of people who are like very lonely will like end up getting attached to them. So that's a possibility. It's like I do think that it should become very illegal very fast to make AI that looks and behaves like a human.
I heard the people are also doing AI therapists nowadays.
Yeah, but anyone who needs therapy is like a fag. Like there's no like they're all retards. Like why would you need therapy? Are you crazy?
Right, but the thing is, let's say you're someone that does need therapy. Would you want a human therapist with their own flaws, or do you want an AI one that is capable of adjusting and growing with you?
I mean, if you're like putting, you know how you ask a question like that, right? Like, so would you rather have Obama, a guy who wants to kill everybody in the Middle East, or would you have, like who was the opponent, like, Clinton, a sweet, nice lady? If that's your question,
Oh, I get it. I get it. You're completely against therapy.
No. I get you. What I'm saying is that he questioned the way it was framed. It's like, is it
No,
please
I
like
think it's a
answer you?
good. If you
Like
have
a
said
human who grows with you, like a human with flaws, or an AI that grows with you.
yeah, yeah, and I see what you're saying. But there are people that go to therapy, let's say per week. But nowadays, a lot of these therapists, they're flawed in their own right. They're 24 years old. They just got their psychology degree, and they're being someone else's therapist. And a lot of people that get therapy from these people re-ingrain bad habits. So let's say a girl just got divorced. She gets a female therapist who just got divorced. Instead of helping this divorced girl grow, this divorce therapist herself is saying, "Oh yeah, he was a bad guy. You didn't do anything." So it's just putting you in a loop. Versus, let's say this divorced girl gets an AI therapist, and she's able to actually learn. The AI is able to analyze her experiences, see what she did wrong. She may even feel more honest near AI because it's not judging her. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. I will say that AI is it's not as unbiased as you think. Like AI is
Mhm.
not like a sentient person with opinions, right? It's just like a bunch of training data, and it's
Right.
outputting you something based on whatever training data was used to create like its model, right? Like to create its the weights in its neural network,
Right.
right? So it's not like sentient. So depending on how it was trained, it could tell you one thing or another. For example, right? Like I was out with my dog, and my dog crashed into a car, and I feel bad that you know me being inattentive caused my dog to die. Okay, like if I was
Hmm.
more attentive, I could have pulled the dog back. Now, one AI, if it's trained on some kind of data, can say, like, hey, don't feel bad. This is not your fault. Everybody's inattentive once in a while. And, on the other hand, there can be an AI which can say, yeah, it's entirely your fault, but, whatever has happened. And now all you can do is buy a new dog and be careful with it. And, don't repeat the same mistake. Another
Hmm.
AI can say, dogs' life are not worth a human's life. And, just an animal, and just buy a new one, stop being a pussy. So depending on the training data, you can get like different answers. So the same flaws that exist in humans also exist in AI. It's just more it's less obvious.
I see. That's true. I don't know, man. I do see that AI therapist becoming a bigger thing in the future, because
I mean,
with
think of
therapy,
it like
because
this, right? Like
no,
if you're
I
gonna do
do,
something,
yeah, but I do see where you're coming from. Where you're saying, one, it's not as logical as you would think, but I think most people who are getting therapy, they're not really looking for logical answers. They just want to express themselves and have an environment where they can do so freely. And I believe an AI therapist will set up that environment for them. They don't really care about the right answers. They care more about that environment.
I mean, if you're just lonely, I mean, and you just want to talk to somebody, like the cheaper it is, the better.
Oh yeah. Well, that's another point though, because therapy, from what I hear, is really expensive, especially if your insurance isn't covering it. Where I can see an AI therapist being 9.99 a month. That's cheap.
Dude, ChatGPT is free.
ChatGPT is free. Speaking of, which AI tool from the big ones are you using the most?
I'm actually using most of them right now. But for search, I prefer Perplexity. But for these analysis type tasks, I prefer ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with ChatGPT is that like it's too left wing biased where sometimes it'll just reject your task. I'm sorry, I can't do that. That's not like it's not nice of you to ask me this. I'm like, why the fuck are we programming computers to tell us no? Like if it can
Right.
do something, it should do it. It should not make a moral judgment, if this is good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
So
Have you tried Gemini?
I have not actually.
I've actually been using Gemini more, where I noticed with ChatGPT, it excels in graphics. Where if you ask, let's say you're trying to brainstorm a
Oh yeah,
book cover
image
idea,
generation is very good at it, yes.
yeah, if you just say create a book cover on a book that's based on body language, they'll give you some good rough ideas that your graphic designer can work off of. Where Grok sucks at that. Grok is not good. I don't really like Grok that much. Gemini isn't that good with it either. Gemini excels with proofreading, where ChatGPT, when you proofread with them, it just sounds too different from your original voice. Where Gemini is capable of keeping your voice a little bit more, right? Grok, the one thing with Grok that I'll use is it'll help me visualize. So let's say I'm harsh right now. I'm Life Math Money. Help me or write an essay about how Life Math Money became a $10 billion brand, and write it as though it's already happened. Grok is capable of writing a captivating essay that makes you think, "Oh wow, Life Math Money achieved all of that," and it helps you visualize more. So that's what
Soon,
Grok is great at. hmm
soon,
Where
soon.
ChatGPT and Gemini is not as good with that. So each of them have their unique functionalities. I really wish it was just one central one, so I didn't have to keep hopping around to different ones.
So you remember how it used to be before Google was a dominant search engine? You had like Ask and you had Yahoo and you had
Yahoo.
Google, and people would prefer different ones. And then eventually Google just took over everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in that stage where you have all these different engines, which are like some are good for this, some are good for that.
Do you think there's
Eventually it will have like a one that's good for everything.
do you think there's ever going to be a time where there's human AIs where, let's say, Life Math Money has in the future 10,000 articles, 10,000 YouTube videos, 10,000 podcasts, 100,000 tweets. Imagine all of that is training data for an AI called Ask LM Life Math.
We already have this, but yeah, that's kind of people have done that for like Aristotle and Plato and people like that. Like ask Plato, ask Aristotle,
Mm-hmm.
and you can talk to them. Definitely we'll have this. I think it's gonna be like a positive and a negative. Where, for example, right? Let's say that you lost your not you, but like someone loses their father, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and their father like they're a writer. Then you can take all of his content and like turn like dad, turn your father into like an AI and then seek his advice in the future, like if he was a YouTuber or whatever. The only thing is that I see people getting attached to the AI, like as if that would be like the actual father or actual mother. And
Mm.
then at the same time, if we have these virtual reality tools, right, it would not be that hard to like have a 3D character like in a VR like glasses, like you've seen those meta glasses. They can
Yes.
produce like holographic, like you could like there could be like a VR type character you can make of your like relative or wife or like a dead father, dead wife or something,
Mm-hmm.
and then fall in love with a VR character. Like I can definitely see like some problems arising from it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's gonna be very interesting technology. I will say that
Because your super fans would definitely want that product.
yeah, the thing is that like we don't have the base AI ready yet. Like so right now, right, the base AIs that we have, like Chat GPT, they are all like too left wing bias. Like
Yeah.
Chat GPT will not even process my content. Like you give it an LMM article, it's gonna say this content violates our TOS.
Damn,
Yeah,
bro.
I
What
can't
kind
even
of content are
proofread
you
on
writing
Chat
about?
GPT. I'm not even joking. I can't proofread my articles on Chat GPT. It
That's
just
only
tells
happened to
me
me
like
twice. Is that happening to you a lot?
it happens to me like 80% of the time.
The hell are you writing about, bro?
I just use a lot of like swear words in my article, I think.
No, but
It's just too like
if there hypothetically is an LMM AI tool, it's going to transform the consulting industry as well. Because why would someone book a consulting session with you when they could just buy the AI tool, just ask that questions?
yeah, I mean I can see the argument for that. At the same time, right, the people who need consulting, they have unique problems that are not like easily addressed by
Yeah.
general content. So
Mhm.
not sure if it will make the market right, but I can see, like I can see what you're saying. For example, right, like but if you're like renting a property and you are making a lease agreement, you don't really need a lawyer to make a lease agreement. You can just use AI to generate a lease agreement for you, and
Right.
then another AI to like proofread it. And
Mhm.
like it's not like a super complicated thing. So for a lot
Yeah.
of these general type things, like professionals will lose consultations. Like earlier you might have to hire a lawyer to like make like a simple sale deed, right? But you don't need that anymore. You can just make a sale deed with ChatGPT, for example, or
Mm-hmm.
some kind of lawyer bot that's some kind of AI that be trained on like legal documents per se.
Yeah, because most people don't read that entire lease agreement anyways. If you
No, no,
could
it's just
ask
like
for the
it's
summary.
it's too
Mm.
like similar. Like there's not a lot of variation in lease agreements. It's just like, a lawyer just like knows how to do it and you don't, but it's not like there's a lot of rocket science involved. Are you getting me?
Right.
Like you can learn how to make a lease agreement if in like 4 hours of study.
Yeah. Same
Not
with closing
self-study, like
costs.
studying
Mm.
with like a lawyer or like some kind of expert. Like you can learn how to make it. It's not that hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure, man. A lot of these stuff are just admin work, especially if you're trying to buy your first home. In the end, there's a thing called closing costs, and they charge you $10,000 to $20,000 depending on the house price. And you'll ask them, well, what exactly is the closing cost? What exactly are you doing? And all they're doing is they're updating documents. And I'm asking, why the heck am I paying $10,000 for you to just update some documents? Shouldn't this be a $500 fee or something? But it's just so ingrained in buying a home that it's something that should be dominated by AI. But right now, there's a human doing it.
It will eventually all of these inefficiencies. I mean, I'm just gonna call them inefficiencies. They will be taken care of with AI. Not
Yeah.
just this, right? I can see so many places where we are like costing money or like doing some crazy shit with humans that could just be done by AI. It's like there are a lot of simple tasks that are just like I'll tell you what, right? For example, let's say that you have these body fat measuring devices, right? DEXA scans and what have you. An AI could just be trained to take a photograph of you and estimate your body fat percentage with like
Hmm.
very high degree of accuracy. Not that complex, right? Like take a front photo, a back photo, make like a black circle around your penis so that you're not submitting a nude photo on the internet. And it could output, like you're at like 18% body fat, and it could like produce like a recommendation that, you should eat like, like 200, whatever, like train like, I see that, your chest is not as big as it should be. So, perhaps you should
Mm,
train your chest more.
right.
And, your shoulders are overdeveloped compared to the rest of your body. So, like, you can ease out on the shoulder volume and increase the volume for your chest and triceps, things like that, right? Like, either you could have like an expert coach do it, but since most people can't afford an expert coach, they could just ask AI. So there's a lot of places just like this where AI can be fairly helpful. I will say that it's more helpful for noobs than it is for like experts, because people who are like elite level or like above intermediate, they have specific issues, right? Like, for example, right, like someone like me, like of course, I'm gonna bench press, but I have this weird thing in my elbow and it hurts. Like, if I like lift too much weight, like if I'm doing Bulgarian split squats, right, I might take like two 45, 50 kilo dumbbells and then I'm gonna do Bulgarian split squats. But then you end up holding the dumbbells for like a minute and a half, and then the next day the elbow tendon starts to like get a bit, it starts to hurt a little. So now
Hmm.
those are things that you need an actual coach to like help you figure out. It's not something that AI can easily do, at least not for now, maybe in the future.
Hmm.
So at the bottom level, right, at the easy level, AI can definitely replace a lot of professionals,
Yeah. And even with
or at
the
least
whole
help them
elbow
scale.
thing.
At least help them scale. Instead of like paying $10,000, I can just pay $100, and the coach could like look at my AI report and be like, okay, all of this is right, this part is wrong, and then he could correct
Hmm.
the AI.
That's actually a service I would buy right now if it was being offered.
Me too.
Make me one, dude. Another thing we haven't talked about it is for content creators, where have you ever heard of 11 Labs?
I'm actually an enterprise customer of 11 Labs. Yes.
Oh, you know about the features, but there was this feature where you could create your own voice. Have you played around
Yep.
with that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And thus
It's
far,
not
it's
that
very,
good.
yeah, it's not that good. It's very raw. But what happens is that I have over 500 podcast episodes. So I was getting a good amount of the podcast episodes as training data. I fed it in and it created a clone Armani voice. And I asked my wife to come in and I just wrote, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I asked her, "Who is this?" And she said, "It's you." I said, "You actually think this is me?" Then I typed something else and I said, "Who is this?" She said, "It's you, right?" I said, no, it's not me. It's a clone version of me. And then I thought, wait a minute. I was about to record a podcast right now, but imagine if I write this whole podcast out in blog format and then I just have it voice clone the Armani. I could release a podcast episode, right? And let's say it fools enough people to think it actually sounds like me. They won't know that it's not really me. It's just a clone version of me. This podcast episode was born via writing. And then I thought, wait a minute,
Mm,
man. Who knows if in the future they don't also have an input for YouTube videos where they'll say, "Hey, give me a bunch of your YouTube videos and I'll create a cloned Armani." So if they have my visuals, if they have my voice, and if they have my thoughts, then they could actually create a clone Armani. So
exactly.
it'll completely revolutionize how YouTube videos are made.
So there's actually a company which does this, and you can now like it's a thing. In fact, there are people who are impersonating doctors and giving out shitty medical advice on Instagram, and
Hmm.
people believe it because the guy looks like a doctor, talks like a doctor, and his mouth moves when he talks. So it's already a thing. You're like a little
I want to
behind.
see it. I want to see it in action, dude, because I have tons of training data. I have over 2,000 YouTube videos. So I'm pretty sure they'll get a good sample of what I look like, my quirks, my mannerisms, my voice, etc.
Yeah, I don't think they will accept 20,000 videos, man. It's like it's very
2,000.
expensive. It's very expensive, right? So they'll make you give you they'll probably be like 3 minutes limit to a sample
Yeah, yeah. I'm
simply
not talking
because
about right now. I'm talking about in the future. In the future, I'm pretty sure there's going to be services that will say, give us all the training data you have of your blogs, your podcasts, your videos, and what other stuff you deem relevant. They'll get the samples, then they'll generate a clone version of Harsh or Armani. Heck,
yeah,
these
there
episodes
are
in the future
companies
could
doing
be completely AI. Not that we
it.
want it to be, but I think it technically could be because we have so much content.
Go to the site. I'm gonna put it in the chat. It's called DID. This is like one of the most well-known ones that does exactly what you're saying, and
Hmm.
it already does it. Basically, it's already a thing. It's mostly used by these corporate companies to create those training videos that you see. If you go to a new job, they force you to watch like 2 3 hours worth of like training.
Really? Yeah, I see that. Have you ever tried it?
I've tried it. Yes, it's not bad. It's pretty good.
Am I really talking to Harsh right now, or CID
Like I
products?
told you, right? No AI is producing what I'm saying. They won't
That's
even accept what I'm saying as an input. The only thing is that it's too expensive, right? Like this DID thing is just too like if we were using these APIs for a SaaS product, and we needed like a whole bunch of API, and this is just like if DID is good, but it's just too expensive for us. 11 labs
hmm.
is better.
Yeah. All this for now. I mean, the prices are really high for now, but 6, 7 years down the line, I could see it dropping in price.
I mean, it's already dropping every day, to be honest with you. Like,
Hmm.
but the models are getting better, right? So it's like if I use the model that was released last year, it'll be like dirt cheap. But then I don't want to use the model that was released last year, right? Like it's like last year's iPhone, except
Hmm.
that we're in like the early years of iPhone where every single iPhone is like much better than the last. We're not at the place where like iPhone today, like the latest iPhone and the last year's iPhone are not that different, right? They're like very similar, but iPhone 1 and iPhone 2 and iPhone 3 were like much
Far
better.
ahead. Hmm.
Exactly, right? The jumps were bigger. So we're in the place where jumps are fairly big right now. Like a model can be much better than the last model. But
Hmm.
in the future, it'll be like 1% better, 2% better. So at that point, yes, it might make like less of a difference. But for now, you want to use the latest model, which costs good money.
Yeah. It's crazy how fast these things are improving, dude. Because I remember 2 to 3 years ago when shorts and clips were becoming a thing, we had to manually do it. So I'll record a YouTube video, then I'll manually watch the entire YouTube video to see, hey, this is a good short opportunity. Nowadays, I have Opus Clips. I just put the entire YouTube video in Opus Clips and it'll generate me 10 shorts. And it
Yeah,
happened within my lifespan. It's happened within a 2 year span. It's just
Dude, it
crazy how
happens
fast this
like
technology is coming out.
really, really fast. Um, all I can say is that, right?
Hmm.
That's the good side that makes life easier. The bad side is that literally anybody can do it now. So you have more competition. Like, think of it like this, right? Like, if the average person on the planet is spending 3 hours a day consuming content of some type, right? That's like you can't increase that, right? Either you can't create more people or you have to force them to watch more content. At some point, they can't watch more content anymore. So you
Hmm.
have like a big pie, okay? Then there's more and more people trying to take a slice of the pie, okay? Like you making content. And now, since making content is becoming easier, there's like even more people who want to make content, right?
Yeah.
So at some point, it becomes too hard to get into the game. Are you getting what I'm saying? If
Yep.
everybody can do it, then everybody starts doing it. Then it becomes too hard. Like since it's attention based, it's harder to gain a following. It's harder to gain traction. So the game gets harder for everybody. At the same time, it's getting easier for everybody. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
It's like a dichotomy, right? Like if the entry barrier is higher, then the rewards are also higher
Yeah. I
because there
mean,
are fewer people doing it.
it's for our parents' generation starting businesses versus us. Where back then, to start a business, you had to get a lot. You had to get desks, a coffee machine, hire people, all that stuff. In this generation, you just get a web domain and a product, and you're good to go.
Exactly, exactly.
Mm.
So yeah, man. So it's like pros and cons to the whole thing. I will say a lot of like people of lower intelligence are gonna suffer horribly because the things they are doing right now are things AI can already do.
Mhm.
And this is different from, say, the mechanical revolution, right? Like with the mechanical revolution, we were producing machines that could do one thing that you could do. For example, the machine is very good at spinning cotton, but that's the only thing it's good at, and it spins cotton. It can't do everything you can do. But
Mhm.
with AI, right? Like if you take a dumbass retard type person, like like someone who's like 85 IQ, AI can do everything he can do. So why the fuck would anyone hire him? Are you getting what I'm saying? Other
I
than
get that.
manual labor. So
Mhm.
the only option he has left is becoming a manual laborer. Okay. But when you look at the population, there's a whole bunch of people like this who are like 90 IQ, 85 IQ, or like below. But then they all end up becoming manual laborers. But then there's not as much demand for manual labor, right? As like the number of people who are like 90 IQ and below are like a big percent, like a big multiple of the number of jobs available for these
But
low IQ types people.
but manual labor can easily be AI automated.
It's much harder. It's much harder. It's much harder to get AI to make a real sandwich than it is to like make it come up with a recipe for a sandwich. Are you getting me? Like
No, I think
robotics is a
if you get like the right arms and stuff, I'm pretty sure you could make a Subway sub way more efficient than a human.
so they've tried it and it's too hard. Like it's too hard to get it to be like very precise and hard to get it to figure out like if everything is okay and to check if the smell of the vegetables isn't if something isn't rotten. It's too hard, right? Some
For
of it is
now,
easier.
dude, but I'm telling you, in the future, I don't really see people flipping patties in McDonald's. I'm pretty sure robots are going to be doing that.
Hopefully, but I'll tell you what, okay? So it's like a cost benefit thing.
Hmm.
Like when McDonald's raised the minimum, sorry, when in the US, the minimum wage for McDonald's, everybody was raised, right? I think it was
Hmm.
$15 or something. McDonald's came up with this kiosk thing where you can like click a bunch of buttons and order on a machine. So you don't need a human to take the order. Well, you can just order at the machine, right? And then it rolled it out worldwide. So right now, even in India, you can place an order at McDonald's on a machine.
Hmm.
Are you
Yeah,
familiar with
that's a
those?
norm here. There's
Exactly.
no McDonald's where they take your order anymore inside. You have to go to the kiosk.
Exactly. But that kiosk was introduced because it was too expensive to have humans do it. Like
Yeah.
the minimum wage had risen to the point where it was too expensive to have humans do it. Now, if you have like a whole bunch of low IQs available, the wage would have to fall, right? Like demand and supply. So if
Hmm.
it's much cheaper to just have a guy make the sandwich as opposed to making robotics do it, then the guy is gonna keep doing it. Are you getting what I'm saying?
I do get what you're
So
saying. Oh, What's going to happen, Harsh, is that one restaurant is going to experiment with that all robot everything. And I think they're doing it in Texas right now, where all parts of the McDonald's is robotic, from the servers to how you place the order to it being served. So you just come, you just scan a QR code and you get your order, right? Once they perfect the model for one McDonald's, they'll understand, okay, now we could run the numbers accurately. And then they're slowly going to start rolling it out,
It's possible.
right?
I'm not saying it's impossible.
I read an article, Harsh, that said that the first jobs to get truly automated are going to be hardcore blue collar work and hardcore white collar work. So if you're over here laying bricks and stuff, that's eventually going to get automated. And if you're doing something like accounting, that's going to get automated.
I'm not sure about the laying brick stuff. Accounting, it's already getting there.
Hmm. Oh, you don't think the brick stuff would be automated ever or anytime soon?
I think it's much harder to do it. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying it's much harder, much more expensive to do it.
I don't know, man. I see videos where they're already starting doing stuff like this. But the
They're
two jobs I
trying,
don't see getting automated, Harsh, I know we've disagreed with this, is production support and customer support.
dude.
I think that's going to be the future. These
So
two roles are going to pay you six figures
I
easily.
think what's going to happen with customer support is that AI customer support would be free, and if you want like human customer support, you'll have to pay. So like with AWS, right? If you pay them, that's when you get like tech support. Otherwise, you don't really get proper support.
Mm,
So it'll be
right.
like if you want like AI support, it's free. If you want to be able to reach a human, then that's gonna cost you like instead of paying 9.99, you might have to pay 12.99
Mm-hmm.
or it something like that, right? Are you getting me? Because human support is just more expensive. It costs more money. So the customer has to pay for it if they want it.
Right. So you don't see it going away in the future. You just see it becoming a premium service.
Yeah, I see it becoming a premium service, which is like, I would say like 80% of the people would be like they would just you learn to be okay with AI support and not really pay for human support. Like some
No.
people will pay, but that's like businessmen and people who have like higher requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the average Netflix user, I don't see him paying like an extra buck for human support.
Okay. I think this is one of those roles, Harsh, that one of those dummies you were talking about before can do. Someone with an 85 IQ.
Not really.
You don't think so with customer support?
Have you hired a customer support agent?
Have I hired one?
Yeah. Have you ever tried it?
Mm-mm.
It requires
A lot of intellect.
it requires some intelligence to be able to do it. Dumb
Mm.
people they just
Half the
can't do it.
customer
Like
reps I talk to are idiots.
it feels that way because you are someone in a problem and they're supposed to solve it, and if they can't solve it, then they're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, and plus a lot of them don't have the power to help you. Sometimes they're trained to not help you.
Mm-hmm.
Just to frustrate you enough so you go away. Like they're trained to do that so you don't cancel. So you like for example, right? My wife recently was trying to return some clothes to a store, and
Mm-hmm.
the store is like, our system is down. But if you want to make a purchase, then you can make a purchase. But if you want like a refund, our system is down for refunds. Like that's just done intentionally, like to like not process the refund, and only a smaller percentage of people will come back the second time to like try to get a refund. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they will do that. Sometimes they like intentionally like make you wait to get customer support, like make you wait 10 minutes, 20 minutes, even if they're not busy, to force you to use the online customer support. And they'll keep saying you, we also have an online customer support system.
Mm-hmm.
All of our agents are currently busy. The wait time is 45 minutes and all that nonsense. So, I mean, but I have hired customer agents before. Um, Idiots can't do that job well. That's all I can say.
Gotcha. Are there any other roles that you think are AI proof?
Having children,
Mm.
raising children. Hmm. Other than that, everything should eventually. It's possible that they will catch up, right? Like even content, right? Like, okay, let's say LMM content is AI proof, right? Eventually, I'll make enough content that it's no longer AI proof. So you're getting what I'm saying. So
Um,
um,
not really. So you have enough training data where you could, other people can
I would
review.
myself generate the training data, right? Like if there's not enough training data to make LMM content, and I keep making LMM content, then that itself would generate the training data to make more LMM content.
Mm-hmm. I
So
see.
it's not AI proof, right? Like it's just like not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, so I'm thinking of I'm gonna say like some of these physical jobs, they are like much more AI proof than more like computer jobs.
Yeah.
Mm, then of course there's like people who make the AI, then they're obviously like harder to replace with AI because they're
Mm-hmm.
like one level above the AI.
Yep.
I mean, because unless you manage to make an AI that can like make a more
Code
complex
itself.
AI, which
Mm-hmm.
is mathematically impossible in my opinion. I mean,
Right. And that'll be pretty
that's a
scary
weird
too.
statement, right? Like it's a very dumb statement. Like mathematically impossible in my opinion. I mean, it's like a harder.
Yeah.
It would be like one of those P equal to NP type things. I think I'm not sure. Like I don't really know, but I
Mm-hmm.
will say that those guys are like somewhat more immune to being fired because of AI. I'm thinking.
Back to your one with the having kids. What about the derivatives of that, like daycare?
Uh, kids are not that like I don't really know. I will have to have kids and then
Mm-hmm.
have to see how it is to be able to answer correctly. I'm
Got
not sure.
gotcha. Man, it's crazy, dude. Where daycare is pretty expensive, like $1,500 a month.
Dude, America itself is pretty expensive, man. It's just like
The
it's just
U.S. is
expensive for
expensive.
everything.
Hmm. I was talking to once you're in your 30s, you'll start to see who's starting to make a good amount of money and who's not. Where if you're making over 100K in the US, that's considered pretty good. Is that pretty good? Would you say overseas, internationally, 100K USD? Or is that
Um,
like a old school metric? Because nowadays, a lot of US people are saying
Not really.
100K. Yeah, a lot of people are nowadays saying 100K is the new 80K.
I don't know
130K
about,
is the new 100K.
like in India, it depends. In some places, you can live a very good, like a really good life, right?
Mhm.
But there are also places where like 100K. In India, I mean, most places you can do like really, really well, unless you are like living in a very luxury property and paying like a lot of rent or something.
What's
In
a
places like
decent amount to
Dubai,
survive
it
there?
would be like low. It's not like super good in Dubai.
But what's a decent amount to survive in India and Dubai?
Let me answer with India. I have more experience with India. Like it depends on where you live, right? Like in a village, like $150 a month is like more than enough in many places.
$150 a month?
Yeah, more than enough actually, like way more than enough. Like a day's food would cost like $2. So
Mhm.
that's like, and if you're renting a house, it's not gonna be super expensive in a village. Like I have one of my like relatives, like a very like distant relative. She stays in like a tier three city, like a very small. It's not a village; it's a tier three city, and her house is like really big, right? Like her house is maybe like 4 or 5 thousand square feet, and she's renting it, and it's fully
Mhm.
done up with sofas and TV and everything. It looks like it looks very modern, like it's a very like nice house. And can you guess what the rent is?
In USD,
Yeah,
it's nice.
it's
1,300.
really nice. A TV is included. There's like a
Mhm.
computer and everything, and electricity is included. Water is included. Um, and it's a really nice sofas. Everything is there. Like furniture is there. It's a very nice looking house.
At least 1,300
It's
USD.
$110 a month, 10,000 rupees, right? Because it's a
What?
tier three city, right? Yeah, it's just how it is, right? So in India, in a smaller part of India, you can get away with like very low income. A lot of people
Mhm.
do, right? Like, that's how it is, right? That's why it's so attractive for Indians to make like Western money. But in like a bigger city in India, right? Like your rent can easily be like $1,500.
Wait, can you pause real quick? So with the cruise example I was giving you earlier, where someone's making $2,500 per month, that's a good amount if you live in a tier three city.
It's very good for a tier
Hmm.
three city. Like people will suck your dick for that money.
3,500 a month, huh? That just gives you perspective. Okay, now what were you saying? What about the other areas?
Right, like somewhere in like Delhi, Mumbai, like Bangalore, all these like more tier one type cities,
Hmm.
your rent could easily be like for a 2 BHK house, it could like be like $1,500, like $2,000, depending on how like well off the properties. It would be like $1,000 also. So where there it's more expensive because real estate is more expensive.
Wait, $2,500 per month
1,500, 2,000, bucks a month. 2,500 bucks a month would be like a very premium property, I would say.
USD?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. Because $2,500 a month will get you a shoebox in some parts of Tampa or New York.
Yeah, man. Like the rent market in India is like it's much worse than the
And
property market.
and the places are nice. Like you said, it's a
Uh,
really big area.
so it's like they're nice by Indian standards.
Yeah,
That's a, I mean,
right, right. I see
you're used to
exactly.
like Western air quality. You're not gonna get that here, bro.
Yeah. Recently, Amazon drivers, they were fighting for a $31 minimum wage, and some people were saying $31, that's so much. But the context is it's
It's like
$31 in
62
California.
grand a year.
Huh?
62 grand a year, right? When you put it like that, it's not a lot.
That's not a lot, especially in California. You literally can't do anything because California's cost of living is so high. So if you
Dude,
ever come
man,
to the US, dude,
it's
where
so expensive. Like a
yeah,
sandwich is like fuck that shit. Like I would rather starve.
250K in California is 120K in Florida. So depending on where you live will determine what your perception of the right salary is. That's why I always say, dude, Texas and Florida are the best places to live in the US because there's no state taxes and the cost of living isn't that high. So you get to keep more of your money as well.
Truth. I will say eventually, right? We will have more of these like people moving everywhere, like just trying to escape the costs, and
Hmm.
it will balance out. I'll tell you what happens, right? Like in India, in some cities in India, a lot of people work for American companies. Okay, so someone in the US who could get paid like $80,000, the American company will hire an Indian who lives in India and make him like work, from home, like from like a back end type thing, and they would
Hmm.
pay him like $20,000, right?
Yep.
So it would be like 75% cheaper for the American company, and for the Indian guy, the guy making $20,000 is like doing fairly well. Okay, 30,000 dollars, doing like okay, not bad at all. And since this guy is like spending in India, now he's like introducing all this money in the system. So now the costs in India are going up. And now Indian guys who are not making Western money, they're the
Mm.
guys they're getting annoyed by it.
Oh, they
You're
must
making
hate you.
you're making the property prices in our area go up. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I can't buy a house because of you.
You must be able to buy whatever you want.
I have a very simple life. I mean, I literally like sleep on the. I used to sleep on the floor for a long time before I got married. I don't really value material things that much, and kind of find it a little annoying, like to the point where I was at this guy's wedding and it was just too well decorated with flowers, and I was just finding it to be super obnoxious. I just left. Okay, I'm like, okay, I wish everybody I'm going. It's just like seeing all these golden frills everywhere and decoration. It just feels really obnoxious to me. I hate frills for some reason.
Right.
You know that golden thing you stitch in a cloth to make it look even more premium?
Yep.
I hate that shit. I don't know why. Just like really annoys me to the point where I'm like, it's just so obnoxious. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I admire that lifestyle where you make a lot of money, but you have a simple lifestyle. But a lot of broke people will get annoyed with you. They'll think, man, he has all this money. Why isn't he spending it more?
I mean, what do I even spend it on? That's a question, right? Like,
Some supercars, some watches.
so I tell you what, right? Like, I had a bunch of watches, but I only wear one watch, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, that was like a G-Shock that I bought for $100
Mm-hmm.
back when I was like 16 or 17 years old, right? So bought for like $100, and that was like a month's salary for me back in the day. And I wore that for like 9, 10 years until it got replaced by a watch I got for free with my phone, and that was the Samsung smartwatch. And
Mm.
I like that watch more than the G-Shock because it could track my steps. So right now I have this Samsung, the most expensive Samsung watch, like this Watch Ultra. Okay, and even this watch is like I bought it for like $400 because I have a friend who's like a distributor for Samsung, and I got it at a nice discount. Right, there's no upgrade to this, and even this is like $400. Right,
Right.
I would not wear like a more expensive watch because they would not be able to track my steps, and I really want my watch to track my steps. So this is like the most
Mm-hmm.
expensive one I can afford, like I can have. And I don't like Apple.
Apple is inaccurate.
Apple, I just don't- I have like a, I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, I used to be poor, right? I couldn't afford Apple, and I had a friend who was very rich, like richer than me, not very rich. So he would have like the latest gadget, right? He would have these iTouch and all of these things that used to be. I used to have like an MP3 player with from Apple iPod,
Mm-hmm.
and like they would all tease me with it. They're like, "Hey, look what I have," and and I would feel like very jealous. Not exactly jealous, but I would feel bad about not having it. And I just like I hated the fact that I couldn't afford Apple, and now I'm like, fuck Apple. Like I just I hate Apple.
It traumatized you.
I just don't want to have anything to do with that brand.
Man, that's hilarious. I remember,
It sounds really dumb. I know, but
yeah,
I
I
just
have
don't
a
want to buy Apple shit.
yeah, I have an Apple villain arc story too, where a couple of years ago I got in this car accident, and the car was completely ruined. And for my phone, I was like, "Oh man, I gotta call someone." And I could have sworn I just charged my phone in the morning. It was an Apple phone, and the battery was already dead. And I said, "Oh man, I really need to call someone. I need to call 911. I need to call my brother, something." But my phone was dead. And ever since that day, dude, I just said, Apple, it's not reliable with battery power, and I need good battery power. That's when I switched over to the Droid.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just don't like Apple,
But
man.
do you
I'm really
know how much people judge you if you have a Droid or something beside an Apple?
That's an
Especially,
America thing.
yeah, especially women, because they love to see that blue text. If they see a green text out of you, they'll be like, "Oh man, what's up with this guy?"
Interestingly, the whole text thing is like an America only thing. Like in India, no one sends an SMS. Like nobody.
You guys
Everybody
do
uses
WhatsApp?
WhatsApp. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because back in the day, right? Like it used to cost a rupee to send an SMS, and no one wants to waste a rupee. So people just used these like free systems to chat, like Facebook Messenger, and then WhatsApp became the norm. But no one wanted to spend money just to like message someone. And now, right? It's just too into the culture where if you send someone an SMS, they'll probably won't even see it.
Mm. I'm trying to think right now. I see exactly what you're saying. Where I've been using WhatsApp a lot more, and I started to use WhatsApp because when me and my wife we were dating, she wanted to FaceTime. And the thing is, droids don't have FaceTime, so we'd have to go hop on WhatsApp, and then I'd video call her from there. And afterwards, we thought, why don't we just stay here? And I slowly started to do that with more friends, but I still text. For my international friends, I'll WhatsApp, but for most people, I'll still text.
Yeah, it's an America thing,
What
right?
about
America
Telegram?
got
Mhm.
Telegram is somewhat popular here. WhatsApp is just like the standard.
This
That's the network effects thing, right? Like if everybody's using WhatsApp and then you have to use WhatsApp, right? It's not like you're gonna convince everybody to use Telegram.
we were talking on Telegram for a while. That just fell off out of nowhere.
Yeah, man. Telegram has this thing where they store all of your messages in clear text. So it's like a sitting duck where someone is going to hack Telegram one of these days, and everybody's entire chat history is going to be exposed. So Telegram needs to like fix their shit. They need some kind of encryption. They have super chat, like secret chats, but you have to activate secret chats and do it manually. It's not like the default thing. So
Hmm.
they're essentially storing everybody's chats in like clear text in their server, and that's just like really really stupid and like, not smart at all.
Right. Interesting. WhatsApp is the main thing for you. Do you use any social media yet or not yet?
I mean, I use X.
X. Yeah. No, no Facebook, IG,
I
Snapchat.
mean, I have Instagram for LMM. I did make an Instagram before I got married, just so that
Mhm.
my relatives got off my back. You're hiding your Instagram from us. So now this is my Instagram. Be happy. But I haven't like touched it in like
But that's
ever
a
since I got
business
married.
Instagram, though. I mean, a personal one.
A personal one, yes.
You have one?
Yeah, I made one before I got married. I was telling you about it. Remember? I was like, my relatives were like, "So you're hiding your girlfriend from us? You're like, you're not telling us about your Instagram. There's no
But
way you don't have Instagram." They wouldn't believe it.
did you just
I'm like,
make
okay.
it, or do you upload pictures of her?
I made it. I uploaded a few pictures on it when I made it, and then it just like I just kept it there so people don't get on my case again. Like, where's your Instagram, bro?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. Instagram, I hate it. I barely use Instagram nowadays. I'll check up on it here and there just for the stories feature, but the feed feature, it's not that good. I don't use it as much. I use TikTok a lot more.
I don't know, man. Every time I turn on my Instagram, it's just like nude women, and I'm like, okay, so this algorithm knows what I want. Like, it's doing its job fairly well.
Hopefully,
You
your
can
wife's
use it
not
to
listening
annoy
to
my wife. Hey, what do you think of this girl?
this. Oh man, that's hilarious. Um,
How's
how's
everything with your wife? How is she doing?
She's doing pretty well. We're adjusting to the married life. It's been a couple of months in. We have another thing called the Valima coming up next month. So the girls' side throws the one event, and then the guys' side throws the other event. Normally, it's done within the same weekend, but since our families live in different states, we had to wait a little and plan for the West Palm Beach one. So that's the one that's happening next month.
All I can say is that since I'm anonymous since I'm not being called to the wedding,
Hmm.
you guys must figure out how much it would have costed me to be at the wedding and then
Hmm.
transfer it to me via PayPal.
On PayPal. I was going to invite you. I was actually going to invite you for this. Last year's one didn't make any sense,
I'm just messing with you.
but this one I did invite some of my
No, no, no.
international.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do for you is I'm gonna tell everybody that it was a great party. It was a really good celebration. It was really beautiful. Even though I was not there, just pay me my share.
Yeah. No, but I invited one of my Australian cousins, and he just says, "Well, when is it gonna be?" I give him the exact date. He says, "It's too late notice, man. I need at least a 3 month heads up before I come to the US." I said, "Why?" And he said, "Dude, I have to bring myself, my wife, my kids, and then I can't only come to your event. If I come to the US, I have to hit up all these other people, visit to all these other states." And he's saying that it's going to be an expensive trip. At that point, I said, "Yo, man, don't come." But that's when I realized that if you live in a place like Australia, for example, you come into someone's wedding, that's a journey. It's probably not going to happen.
Dude, Australia is like, how you have like video game servers, then you have a test server. Australia is like that test server. You can like fuck with it, and any mistake you do is gonna be contained within Australia. So you could launch a new disease, like even if the Chinese are listening and making a new virus. You can, if you want to test your virus, you can test it in Australia. It's not gonna spread anywhere. It's like the Madagascar. If you play, have you played a game called Plague or something? It used to be called. I don't remember. There's a game where you're supposed to make a virus and you're supposed to spread it across the planet. Okay, and there's a location in the game called Madagascar. It's like an island near Africa,
Hmm.
and the only way to get the virus in Madagascar is via a port. The thing is that every time the virus will start to spread, Madagascar is going to close its port, and then it's impossible to win.
Hmm. Interesting. So you think Australia is like that?
I'm saying in real life, Australia is a lot like that.
Hmm.
And it's so far away, right? Like you could really fuck with it, like, and it would have no effect on anything else. Like if someone was to like take like 500 nukes and nuke the shit out of Australia, it would not affect the rest of the world,
Mm.
except maybe New Zealand.
I feel like I know nothing about because I want to contribute to this comment right now, but I know so little about Australia.
It's a joke. It's like a tongue-in-cheek joke. Like I think
Yeah, no,
it's
I
like
definitely
separate.
want to. Sometimes when you guys are roasting something, you want to contribute with your own roast. It's just I know so little about Australia that I can't even think of a funny roast.
Okay, let me find the name of the game. Okay,
Yeah.
Madagascar closes its port. Okay, I used to play
What,
this game back when I was stuck in code, and it was just so funny.
wasn't Australia initially formed because they were
It's called
sending
Pandemic 2. Sorry. If someone wants to play the game, it's called Pandemic 2.
pandemic too? Okay, check it out if y'all are interested. But wasn't Australia formed because they were sending British prisoners to Australia?
Yeah, they're like, we don't want to pay for a jail. Why don't you just go to that island and stay there?
Mm,
Interestingly, a lot of islands near India are populated because of the same thing, where the British would take like Indian prisoners and just like dump them on the island. They're like, hey, go there. Fuck it. Stop
right.
annoying us.
Oh, that's how I heard that Trinidad was formed. Trinidad or
Ah,
Guyana.
yeah. Exactly. Trinidad.
I didn't know that, man. We're we're basically the indentured laborers from India and the indentured laborers from Africa. They both got sent to Trinidad or Guyana, and that's how they were formed. So they're known as Indo-Caribbean.
I mean, as far as we are concerned, they're just Caribbean. Like, we don't see them as Indians. So
And it's funny because they don't want to be identified as Indians. At least the ones in New York and in the US. Because Americans to Americans, you guys are all the same. Right? They'll just like look and say, "Oh, you're from Trinidad." They don't even know what Trinidad is. They'll just say, "Oh, so you're Indian." And they'll say, "No, we're not Indian. We're from this Caribbean island." They'll try to explain their cultures, but then the people will just say, "So you're Indian."
dude, I love how the Native Americans, like, they're like, "Oh, you're Indian?" No, dude, I have like feathers and I have white skin. I'm not Indian. Oh, so you're Indian.
It's hilarious, man.
Oh man.
Let me see if we have any questions. Everything going well with your married life?
Everything is super good here, man. Just like my wife's pregnant, so she's just resting.
Mhm. I saw one
And
of your tweets recently about the testosterone thing.
yeah, man, I feel like my testosterone levels are like crashing. You know how if your testosterone levels are high, like you
Mhm.
feel it. You can like feel the energy and the desire to conquer. You get that thing.
Right.
I just get that less and less. So it's clear my testosterone levels have fallen significantly, especially in the last few weeks. And apparently it's like a thing that happens during pregnancy where the guy's testosterone levels fall. And it's like done by the woman's pheromones to prevent you from like cheating and like to lower your sex drive, to make you more calm, to make you more supportive. Essentially turning you into a woman. It's like,
I never heard of that in my life.
me neither, man. Like it's like one of those things I'm surprised about.
Mm, that's good. Are your parents excited to be grandparents?
They are. They're
Mhm.
like super excited. When are you having a baby?
Man, I've been getting that question more often than not nowadays. It's actually hilarious because I haven't even been married for 7 months, but I'm getting that question as a joke because a lot of my friends nowadays they're having baby showers, they're having kids. So if I'll attend it, someone will say, "Well, when are you throwing that baby shower next, Armani?" Um, the goal is next year. The
How
goal is
old is
next
your
year. Uh, let me keep that just so I don't want to delve too much information on her. I'll tell you off the episode.
wife? Gotcha. The thing is
Yeah.
that, right, if she's like, so I'll tell you what, I know a guy who got married last year who is
Hmm.
34 and his wife is 35. And he's like, I want to get to know
Yeah.
her a little bit and then I want to have kids. I'm like, dude, if you want to have kids, start trying right now because it's gonna be really hard. Like, so
35 is older. Yeah. 35 is
he's a,
you wanna.
so he had a girlfriend for a long time and then he had a breakup and then he had an arranged marriage.
Hmm.
The girl has the same story. Like she had a boyfriend and then they broke up and then like since they were both single, they had an arranged marriage and now they're married. But the guys don't get it. Like they think that having a kid is like you just decide I want to have a kid and then the girl gets pregnant. In most cases, especially when you're older, you have to like spend months to years trying, like years for like the older guys, really older guys, right? So
Hmm.
depending on how old she is, like you might want to start trying.
I always found that phrase funny. Start trying. It's like start smashing. It's hilarious because it turns like a very pleasurable experience into this chore. I mean, if you
No,
know
man,
that,
no, it doesn't. It
yeah,
doesn't. It doesn't.
yeah, you still, but it's just hilarious because different people, uncles, aunties, everyone will ask, "So, are you guys trying?" What they're really asking is, "Are you guys having sex?"
No, man, it's different. It's
Yeah.
different. It's different. It's the. Mm, I mean, all I can say is that if the plan is next year, right, it
Mhm.
would be wise to like try occasionally from now on. That's all I can say on a podcast.
I know exactly what you're saying because for some people it becomes they're trying for a long, long time, nothing's
Exactly.
happening. Where for other people, they'll try and then immediately, boom, good to go.
Dude, I didn't even try.
That was an accident. Yeah, I don't know. Or one day you're announcing you're about to have a kid. I thought, what? When was this happening?
I just have super high had. I'm gonna say I just had super high testosterone. It's not my fault, bro.
Hopefully, it comes back.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it's one thing that it helps you. It's good that you're going through this right now because maybe it'll give you more empathy as well. Because when you're becoming a dad, you need to you can't be too tough on the baby, right? You have to have somewhat of a soft spot as well because the baby's completely dependent upon you.
Yeah, man. Like
We're us
I
men,
don't know.
we're
It's
just
like
tough
a
by
first time
nature.
experience.
Hmm. The what?
So I'm saying it's like a first time experience, right? So I'm not exactly well versed with what's gonna happen. So
Yeah,
excited to go through it. At the same time, a little nervous.
a
Go on.
little nervous for sure, man, because this is your first time. I mean, are you reading books on it, or you're just kind of going
I'm
straight
gonna
in,
wing it.
wing it? Okay, yeah, because when you read too much books on it, I feel like it gives you analysis paralysis.
I mean, it can't be that hard, right? Like my dad, my grandfather, nobody read a book on being a dad. They all just did
Hmm.
it. So
Yeah,
it's that hard. It's
yeah.
it's like a modern phenomenon, right? Where you need to read a book on everything,
Hmm.
and you can
That's for
figure it out.
grandparents. If your dad and mom were really tough on you, they'll be really soft on the grandkid.
It's like the job of the father is to be tough, and the job of the grandfather is to spoil the kid. You
Hmm.
know, that's always a dynamic. Where if the
Yeah,
kid doesn't get something from dad, he goes to the grandpa. The grandpa, I want this, and the grandpa's like, okay, here it is.
here you go.
So
My fear
that's
is, yeah, my fear is if my son or daughter ever becomes spoiled.
um it takes a while to spoil kids. Like I have some clients with spoiled children,
Hmm.
and they were really negligent, right? They were like this, they didn't give a fuck. So it takes a while to spoil kids. It's not that easy.
Yeah, but it starts young, right? Because I see some parents, whenever their baby is crying or just crying a little bit, they'll drop everything, then they'll run to the baby. Oh no, what's going on? Or my philosophy is sometimes let the baby cry just a little bit. You don't always have to stop everything and just go to the baby. Where this is actually an issue where there's a training where one of my cousins, her daughter, whenever she cries, she'll drop everything and go to her daughter. But apparently that's not a good thing. So there was this one day where they put the baby in the room. The baby was supposed to sleep on its own, but when it was crying, my cousin wanted to get up and take care of the baby, but her husband had to say, "No, no, calm down, let her cry it through, and then just see what happens next." But a lot of people like they have this impulse to just go up to the baby as soon as it's crying. Or I don't necessarily know if I'll have that immediate impulse. Maybe when it's an infant, but by the time it's 7, 8 months, if it cries, I'm not gonna automatically be like, Let me drop everything. Who knows? I'm just talking about theory right now.
Yeah, man. I don't know. All I can say is that I have a soundproof room, and it's too annoying to sleep there.
Ah, man, that's hilarious. Why'd you spoil the kid?
What?
Do you know if you're having a daughter or a son yet?
No, man. In India, we don't know.
Oh, you're trying to stay surprised.
No, no, it's not. It's illegal to find out. They will
Oh,
not
is
tell
it?
you. It's very, very
What?
illegal.
So you guys don't
So
do
the
a baby
history is
reveal
that, like,
party?
what people used to do, like in India, right? They would really favor boy children. So they would find out, like, they would do a sex detection, and if it was a girl, they would award the kid. And that led to like a big, massive, like, oversupply of males. So in India, it's like for every 1,000 males, there are like 945 women or something like that. So the government banned it. They banned the practice. So now it's illegal to ask. It's illegal for a doctor to tell, and it's like there are very stringent penalties. You will go to jail for asking which sex the kid is. They will not tell you. They will go to jail if they tell you.
Interesting. Never knew about that. Are you at least brainstorming on names?
Not really, man. Like,
What happened to Harshina?
possible, like, possible.
Man, if you can't know the gender, that
I was
means
thinking
baby
Goku,
reveal
but the wife
parties.
isn't like a big fan. Like,
Hmm?
I was thinking Goku from Dragon Ball Z. The wife doesn't like it that much.
If you have
I mean,
twins, Goku and Vegeta.
exactly, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo.
Yeah, man.
Hey, but Vegeta, it's gonna be like, the Vegeta was evil, right? In the beginning
Hmm.
of the show, if I remember correctly. Shit, man. It's gonna be fun, like doing all these things you used to do as a kid, like watching Dragon Ball Z, like doing it again with your own son or daughter. It's gonna be like enjoyable.
It is. Especially because you want to introduce your type of entertainment versus all new entertainment for the new generation kids. If you could introduce some of yours, then it'll be you guys can bond about something.
Definitely, dude. Like playing those video games like Mario and what have you, like it's like fun, And for the kid, it's like a new thing, and you're teaching them something very pleasurable. They will remember this for their entire life.
Hmm.
It's
Are you
gonna
gonna
be
Are you gonna
exciting.
introduce your kid to Unapologetic Truths or Life Math Money?
Not right away, right? Like not until they're older. Like, how some writers, they'll stop writing because they have a kid. Like they're writing about women and sex and what have you. Like
Hmm.
this guy, right? Like Mike Cernovich. Like he
Hmm.
used to have a blog called Danger and Play. Then he had like a few daughters and he deleted his blog. And I'm 100% sure the reason for deleting his blog was that he had a bunch of daughters. And he didn't want like his daughters to read articles about him choking women during sex or shit like that he was publishing. I mean, I like the
Hmm.
guy, right? I like Mike Cernovich. I like the website. I used to read it for many years.
Hmm.
But I'm very certain the reason it stopped existing was because he had daughters. Or, like his children. He didn't want his children to like think his dad was choking women during sex, like a 5-year-old. Daddy, what do you do? I danger and play.
I
I
can
was choking
explain.
women. So, I mean, for me, right? Like I have so many other businesses. It's not like this is what I do, but
They may just
definitely
accidentally
don't see the
discover it.
point of introducing kids to it at a
Hmm.
young age.
They may just accidentally discover it one day.
I mean, that's fine, not like a big deal. Most
Yeah.
of my articles are not like, super hot, like
Hmm.
not kid friendly, but they will learn a few creative words from my article for sure.
Hmm. Absolutely. Awesome, dude. Well, there is a question for you from They Became Us. Question for Harsh. You got 60 to 70 matches on Bumble in just a few days. You tweeted about it and said that you were going to write an article breaking down how did you set up your profile and what else did you do to get so many matches. Can we expect that article in the next couple of months? That would be very helpful. That's question part 1.
I forgot about that actually. I'm gonna get on it. I just forgot about that article.
Mhm.
It's gonna be an interesting article. It's just that it's too hard to do it as an anonymous person. I mean,
Mhm.
definitely describe the images. I'm gonna publish that article. Let me write that down somewhere. One sec. Mm. So since he's asked about it, then there's clear like someone wants to read it. So let me
There's demand. Hmm.
exactly. Let me put that in my publishing list. Put it at the top.
Sure. And question two: how
Bumble
to
guide.
how to ascertain if a girl is a virgin or not in an arranged marriage context? In arranged or not in an arranged marriage?
You
In
can't.
arranged marriage setting, you barely meet the girl 2 to 3
You
times
can't.
before
You
the
can't do it.
marriage. Yeah.
You can't do it.
Yeah. Can Harsh write
You
a
can't be.
article? Yeah.
You
You
can't
want
like
to?
ascertain it, right? Like you can't do it. It's you can't be certain. Like you can be like 95% sure. And I have an article on how to do that. But then that's the limit, right? You can be like 95, 99% sure. You can't know 100%. It's just it's not possible, right? Like if we could figure out things like that with certainty, then we would not have the courts and investigation agencies or anything. Like people would just be like, "Did you do the crime?" And then you would use that method to figure out did they do it or not, right? You can be
Hmm.
like 90, 95% sure with the just by using social skills and asking around and see my article on this entire thing. Like I have a detailed article on this topic, but since he's using the word ascertain, like to be 100% sure, you just can't do it.
Mm. That's a good thing to mention because some people they want that straight fire shot, but with humans,
It's
you
not
never have
possible.
that certainty.
What is your take on this? Like, is there any way you could tell? Like, especially like your take is like more Western. Like in your country, it's much rarer to find a virgin.
Hmm. Let me think. Now, before I answer that question, are you guys only meeting 2 to 3 times? Because that's what his question writes.
A
Or
lot
can
of the
you meet
time,
more than that?
most of these guys are meeting once,
Mm.
sometimes twice.
Oh yeah, then you definitely can't tell.
Can't tell, right? Like,
I mean, there's always an internal compass that we have where I could look at someone, guy or girl, and I could tell if they're a virgin or
no,
not
you
just
can't.
by their
Like,
mannerisms.
no, no.
No, no, no. It's not always right. It's not always right, but I'll have a hunch. I will say, oh, this person gets around, or this
See,
person
think of it like
seems
this,
very
right?
innocent.
With the clear whores, you can. With like these discreet Indian girls who slept around a little bit, not a lot. Like they've had like two boyfriends or like had some casual sex. And when she's meeting you, she's wearing traditional clothes and acting shy. You can't
Hmm.
tell into meetings. It's just not possible.
Right. Well, if I'm just meeting them, then 100% I can't. If I start talking to them, we have at least 3 to 5 conversations. Now I'm starting to think, oh, okay, I somewhat know, but you're
Somewhat.
right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can somewhat know. You can't like be
Yeah.
like accurate.
This isn't going to be one of those things where you know 110% about anything. And yeah, I would say that's the response to his question. Yeah, you
Yeah, but I
most
will
likely
give
will
him the
know.
response he needs to hear, right? Since he's like a listener, I will tell you not just what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. You will never have 100% clarity on this topic. And the way to deal with this is just to increase your own body count. Like if you're a virgin yourself, right? Like think of it like this: you've never fucked a girl, then it becomes like really, really, really important for you to have a virgin because it just becomes intolerable to ever end up with a woman who's had a partner. But if you increase your own body count to say like four, five, six girls that you've slept with or like dated, etc., then you not only do you become much better at judging if a girl is like bad, uh, at the same time, if you fuck up, it doesn't feel like that big of a catastrophe. So increase your body count, like increase your own dating experiences. That's the thing that you need to do, that you probably don't want to hear from me, but it's just how it is.
Interesting.
It's how it is. Like it's like someone asking so what can I drink to lose weight, and I'm saying you gotta like eat less food. I don't want to hear that. I wanted to hear green tea.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Have you? I mean, you seem like you have a lot of experience in this topic. Have you ever been set up with someone that you later found out had a past?
Yeah, quite a few times, yes.
Quite a few.
I
Hmm.
mean, I'm not one of those guys where a girl will be like try to hide it. Like I'm fairly open about my life, and like, I am who I am, right? Like if you wanna like be with me, you have to accept me how I am. I thing is that I'm at a point in my life where I mean, for a while I've been at a point in my life where I just don't need to be needy about anything. Like if I want to have sex, I can just get a girl. If I already have money, like I don't actually need. So I have no desperation, right? And women are like, you meet a guy who's not like super cagey, doesn't seem insecure. They're more open about their own experiences. So they'll just tell you. So I was dating this guy in college, which I didn't work out, and so for me, it's not that much of a problem. But at the same time, if your personality, you kind of seem more like a traditional guy and who will judge the girl, then they will like hide it. They're very good at hiding it. That's like the one thing women cannot keep any secret except for this one secret. Like, this is
Interesting.
one secret they can like take to the grave. Anything else, they like blabber to their friends. It's very hard for them to keep secrets, except for this one thing.
Interesting.
Arman is like, I'm gonna get beat up by my wife after this.
No, man. I mean, there's a in India, I would say it's catching up to the West. From a lot of my Indian friends, they're like, "Ah, dude, you won't see that many virgins in India." Where in the West, if you're saying I just want a virgin, you have significantly reduced the dating pool. But I will say this: there are plenty of virgins if that is your goal, where everyone has like different priorities on what they deem important. If you say I really want a virgin, you could absolutely find that here. But after a while, you'll get the virgin aspect, but you may not get the religion aspect. You may get the religion and the virgin aspect, but maybe they're dink, and then that's why you got to see how important the virgin aspect is to you.
Yeah, it's like
I do it here, dude. Where in India, it's somewhat catching up to the West. Where nowadays you're not gonna see more virgins than non-virgins.
to some in the bigger cities, that's true. It's there. It's like it's on the same trajectory. The train is just like a few stations behind. That's all I can say.
Hmm.
Like you're right, like it's catching up.
Hmm.
But the problem right now is not as worse as it is in the West. Mm, I would say if someone is in India, right, they can do very good just by like going younger. Like instead of like looking for girls who are like 27, 26, 28, look for girls who are like 19, 20, 21, 22. And the chances of like virginity is like far, far higher.
But the thing with 19, 21, 22, you have to deal with is they're more annoying.
It's fine. That's like
You could deal
a
with that
temporary problem,
after.
right? Like you can't unfuck a girl, right? You can't like de-virginize a girl. Like you can't like re-virginize a girl. But a girl,
Hmm.
19-year-old is eventually gonna become a 25-year-old and be less annoying. Are you getting what I'm
I
saying?
see what you're saying. Yeah, definitely.
Plus they're more fun. I mean, so just like my personal experience, it's more fun to date a 19-year-old than to date like a 28-year-old,
Hmm.
because a 28-year-old is like more in a rush. They're more serious. 19-year-old is more casual, like more relaxed, and
Now, also the question:
more
how old is the
forgiving.
guy? How old is the guy dating the 19-year-old? Is he 30 or
25. No, not
how?
30, not 30. 25, 26.
That's yeah, that's not weird. But what if he's 30?
Yeah, then he's like, then he needs
That's a
to like
little
look at
weird, right?
25,
Yeah.
24-year-olds for sure.
Yeah, no, because the red pill space, I recently heard them saying, "Oh man, if a 40-year-old dates a 19-year-old, that's nothing's wrong with that. Biologically, that's acceptable." I just thought something about that
Biologically,
was
it's too
weird.
hard to find. It's too hard to find. Like it's too hard to find a 19-year-old who is willing to date a 40-year-old, where the 19-year-old isn't doing it for like money and gifts and what have you. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just like harder. It's a harder problem
Mm,
because plus at the same time, right? I would say like I would say it's much different to be a father at 29 than it is to be a father at like 39 or 45 or something like that, right? So I don't agree with this red pill advice. Maybe if you want to maximize the number of girls you sleep with, it's like the proper advice. But if you want like a proper family, children, etc., it's like poor advice.
have you heard of Shannon Sharp?
No.
There's this really big media personality, Shannon Sharp. He's 52. There's this girl that's been blasting him. She's 19 years old, and apparently they hooked up. She has the receipts and everything, and he's trying to explain himself. He's like, "Look, I could explain. It was consensual." But everyone says, "Who cares if it's consensual, dude? You're a 52-year-old dude hooking up with a 19-year-old. This girl is the same age as his daughter.
So
Now
what?
there's
Like,
this inherent disgust, especially if you live in a first world country. I believe you're just going to have this internal disgust where if you live in like a third world country, for example, you don't really perceive it like that. You just think a lot of our parents, they have 12, some have 15, 20-year age gaps because you just
Exactly,
think in terms
exactly.
of you just think in terms of procreation, that's it. But in a lot of first world or really advanced, technologically advanced countries, they just have this inherent disgust when it's crossing that sort of line. So even if it's consensual, it's like 52, 19. Come on, dude.
Yeah, man. So Western countries, they have their own set of morality, right? Like you can cut off a 5-year-old boy's penis and turn him into a girl, and that's normal. But a 52
That's
year
not,
old
not
man,
no, no, no.
yeah,
That's not normal for white. That's actually
yeah.
that's one thing. That's one thing that a lot of people are liking Trump for, where he's hardcore, just saying no, 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 make sure like none of that happens. That's actually a niche concept that like these middle of nowhere schools do, but then the
Well, they do
media
it, right?
plays it up.
It does exist, right? So that's the thing,
Yeah, well,
and
very
people are
rare. Yeah, very.
supporting it, which kind of gives you like some amount of perspective. So I mean, it's somewhat tongue in cheek. My point is that like a guy
Right.
can claim he's a woman and compete in a woman's sport, and that's okay in the West legally, okay? And like at least 30 to 40% of the people think that's normal, that you can
Hmm.
just change your gender. But a 19-year-old adult female has sex with a 52-year-old adult male, and that's not okay. That's isn't that weird? Like
Well,
it's
that's
like
illegal. Yeah, that's still legal. You
it's
you won't go to
legal, but
jail
like
for that. Yeah.
what I'm saying is that the same people who are okay with men transitioning into women are the ones frowning upon two adults having sex because of an age gap. So at one side you are so progressive that you think men can just transition into women. At the same time you're so conservative that you think that like couples should be like in some kind of age band.
I will say this though. I think this entire men transitioning into women, I think that's more so a psyop where even the most liberal people I know, hardcore
No, no, no,
vegans,
no, man, you're not gonna ruin this for me.
no,
I
what
like doing this.
I'm telling you, bro, even them, they're saying, nah, man, that's not okay. So
No, no,
I
no. All the liberals love doing it, man. You're not gonna ruin this joke.
oh, that's
If
too
you're
funny.
a liberal, that's what you got. You support men transitioning into women and chopping off little boys' penises.
Uh, damn, dude.
That's a liberal
Watch out,
thing.
man. You're about to be a dad now, so you gotta keep an extra eye on those the kids. Are you gonna let them have a tablet and internet connection?
Internet, sure. Tablet, no, because tablets are
Tablet.
expensive.
Oh, gotcha.
They're gonna break it in one day. Like, come here, break it. Top, throws it. I saw a kid yesterday. Like her mom gave the kid like it's like a very kid can't even speak. He's just walking like a packet of chips. Right, the kid is like, I want this packet of chips.
Hmm.
The kid looks at a different packet of chips, literally throws the packet of chips on the ground, the one he has, like starts pointing to the other one, and I want this one. And like imagine doing that to a tablet, kid like, oh,
Oh man, they have those rubber pads for it, so it's kids proof. But it does mess up a kid where whenever the parent is busy with something, they'll just give the kid the tablet, and the kid is glued to the tablet, and that just
I have a cousin
it's
sister
become
who
more
had a kid
antisocial.
a year and a half ago, and that's what she does. Like when it's time to like, when the kid is like being too annoying, she'll just like play one of those YouTube videos on the TV. And I think it's now the kid is at a point where the kid will deliberately go and annoy the mom, like go and annoy my sister, just because the kid wants to watch TV.
Mm,
So it's like you've trained the kid to do bad shit.
yeah, watch out,
So
man.
yeah, let's see. All I can say is liberals are bad, and that's the end of the message today.
That's the end of the episode. Any other questions? Drop it in the episode comment section.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys next month.
Let's do it.